early light was so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we walked were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular of Osborne singing out, yeah, through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Welcome to Inside the Gamecocks, the morning show, presented by the West Law Firm and Resto Pros of the Midlands, part of the Chief Sports Network, and proud partners of On 3, Go Gamecocks.
He'll be fine on the mountain.
Consecutive home runs for Carolina.
It is good. It's gone.
He's in. Touchdown.
He's going to score. It's a walk-off.
Touchdown, South Carolina.
Well, I have a microphone and you don't.
So you will listen to every damn word I have to say.
Up atop again.
Freak it. Finally, I'm free again. I got my motor running for a wild weekend. Freak out, yo.
Oh, don't you dare look back, just keep your eyes on me. I said you're holding out, she said shut up and dance with me. This woman is my destiny. She said ooh, ooh, shut up and dance. Don't you dare look back, just keep your eyes on me. I said you're holding back, she said shut up and dance with me. This woman is my destiny. She said ooh, ooh, shut up and dance with me.
It's Friday, man. It is Friday, and it is time to play high school football in this great state of South Carolina. Greetings and good morning. Welcome aboard and welcome home. Inside the Gamecocks, the morning show presented by Resto Pros. There when you need them. Resto Pros of the Midlands, Resto Pros, Midlands, SC. The West Law Firm presents our coverage as well. And you talk about high school football, they sure do love it over there. There's no doubt. They're proud Berkeley Stags, but they support everybody. And I know that for a fact. They get around to all these high schools and hand out free footballs and baseballs and all kinds of stuff. If you or somebody you know needs help in this state, West Law Firm, the West Law Firm, visit westlawfirmsc.com. There's the king of late night, our buddy Matt Anderson, who's just doing a fantastic job as part of our wonderful network here. He's doing a great job on the bigspur.com, the analytics guy. He's the analytics guy and the hoops guy. So we lean on him for all the fun stuff or the stuff we don't understand. Sometimes those intertwine. But really appreciate Rob Williams and Matt Smith as well. 4-Quarter Friday is off and running, and they're going to have a busy next few months. I can tell you that right now. They were both out following around high school football last night, and they're going to be doing it again tonight and till the end of the year. So if you like high school football, they've done a wonderful job. Congratulations to all of you who are watching us and listening in whatever small town you're in. If you're headed to watch your boys play tonight, go get them. Good luck. Have fun out there in the ballpark, and welcome back football. Certainly no doubt about that. We'll get to a Gamecock report coming up here in just a minute. We've got Raphael in today. So we've hit on a lot of Carolina's teams that are on the Gamecocks schedule this year. We're going to go back. Some of those over-unders have changed, Matt. So we're going to go all the way through South Carolina's schedule, the over-unders, the teams that they're playing against, and then we'll finish with South Carolina themselves, the Gamecocks, and see what Raphael thinks about that 6.5. And then next week, of course, we'll be talking game lines because college football will be returning. John Strickland will be here coming up in hour number 2 as well. And, of course, so will JC, and so will Phil. Good morning, my friend. How you doing?
Good morning. Talking about analytics on the bigspur.com, something that I'm working on right now is projecting all of the Gamecock offensive skill position players and, what we could see out of them this year. I'm waiting to get more intel from the scrimmage tomorrow night before I finalize this sucker. But I do this every year for fantasy football, and I said, heck, why don't I do it for the Gamecocks? So
yeah,
be on the lookout for that next week.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds fantastic. I can get into the analytics stuff myself, but I would rather lean on you to be able to do all that. So keep up the good work, I guess.
It's just how my brain works. For whatever reason, I latched onto this and I enjoy it.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to a Gamecock report presented by Gamecock Traditions.
What's going on in Gamecock country? It's the Gamecock Report presented by Gamecock Traditions on the morning show. Visit GamecockTraditions.com or in Lexington and get your gear and apparel today.
Well, I tell you what, man, from the gridiron, which is going to be mostly what today is all about, to the pitch. How about South Carolina women's and men's soccer last night? The ladies got a late goal to beat that team in the upstate for the first time since I got 19, but I thought it was 2018. Either way, it's been too long. 4 straight draws in the series, and then Clemson had won a few in a row prior to that. See if I can get this right here. Kyler Zoloff? Golly, I hope I pronounced that right. You're
asking the wrong person.
that. Zuloff? We'll need to get research on that. But she scored with 6 minutes to go in the match, and over 7,000 people were in attendance last night to watch Carolina beat the Tigers, tame the Tigers. They improved to 2-1 on the season after a loss last weekend. That's the loss at Wake Forest. But they beat that team in the upstate. That's for dang sure. And they'll be back on the pitch at 6 o'clock on Sunday when they host the Furman Paladins. Congratulations, Shelly and Jamie, and all those young ladies that wear the garnet and black. Maybe Nike had something to do with that. You put the check mark on your chest in soccer, and you beat the team in the upstate. Matt, I don't know. I do know this.
That's a Palmetto Cup point there too. So Gamecocks will take every single one of those.
Yeah, they're up now 1-0 in the Palmetto series. The men went on the road and beat the brakes off of North Florida.
Yeah, they did.
4-1 the final in Jacksonville. North Florida is really good. They're preseason favorites to win their league, and South Carolina was having absolutely none of that. They returned the favor from last year when the Ospreys came to Columbia and shut out the Gamecocks on the home pitch, but that didn't happen yesterday. 4-1 the final score. Tony Annan and his group off to a good start. They'll be back home on August the 24th when they host USC Upstate. So by virtue of simple math here, that means that they'll be playing at home on Monday night at 7 o'clock over at Stone Stadium. Get out there and support them. Watch him play. Tony's a great guy, man. I think I've told you that story before. When I met him, I didn't even realize I was sitting next to him at a golf tournament. And I was like, oh, crap. My bad, man. We sat there and talked for a long time. Great guy. Great guy. We need to get him back on, too. Carolina football, literally right now, is wrapping up practice. They had a quick 1-hour Friday morning workout ahead of tomorrow's final scrimmage of camp that takes place in the Columbia Heat, 3 o'clock, 3:05, specifically at Williams-Brice Stadium. And then we'll start to get some intel, hopefully, tomorrow evening to be able to pass along to all of you as to how it went. And they'll start to make some decisions. I kind of put a piece out yesterday, kind of summarizing. I don't think there's anything in there that's really earth-shattering, but hey, this is what the focus is this weekend. Here's what we've been told. Here's what they're going to be working on. And then, specifically things like the offensive line, they're going to start to make some decisions on that pretty quickly and move forward. So we'll talk about that today. I've already reported all this, so forgive me if it's old news, but the university has officially released it. So it is news, and we want to make sure that we pass that along. Gamecock softball is going to be down in Clearwater, Florida, in the 2027 Shriners Children's Clearwater Invitational. It's one of the best tournaments in the country, and last year they played one of the best tournaments in the country out on the West Coast, out in Cali. There's a great story about that. Ashley's going to be on here in the next couple of weeks, and Ashley, of course, is expecting. I think everybody's heard that. And But they got there late, and the hotels weren't booked, and it wasn't Carolina's fault. It was a big mess. But they did okay. They did all right out there. Anyways, 5 games in 4 days in February. That'll be a good time to go to Clearwater, Florida in February. Go down there and enjoy some warm weather. They are one of 2 teams from the SEC. Texas A&M is the other. They are one of 2 teams from the state. That team in the upstate. They're going to be down there as well. Also, Jamie McKay is going to utilize the 5th-year ruling and return to Columbia and play for Carolina softball. She's been playing women's baseball since she thought her career was ending in May, but it did not. She will get a chance to come back. She was the only one of the 4 who are eligible that they thought they could probably pull off. Ari, it wasn't going to work out. Lexi Winters has decided, she wants to get into the next phase of her life, which is totally understandable. So Jamie's going to come back, and then in case that anybody missed this, this has not been put out by the school, I don't believe, officially. But both Emma Friedel and Tori Inslee have also utilized the 5th-year rule and signed 2-year deals. So they're going to be back in 2028 in addition to next year. How about that? That's big time. Big time. For those of you headed to Columbia this fall, make sure that you've checked your emails. Pardon me. I remember a couple weeks ago we said they're going to be sending out some messages. They're going to get all of it out. Here's what's going to happen. Here's how it's all working. Well, they've done that a lot, and the latest one is the news on expansion and food items. And how about this? You ready, Matt? This is where, if you're going to Williams-Brice Stadium and you can't find Matt Anderson, go check one of the brew-throughs. You got a feeling he'll be hanging around the brew-throughs if you're looking for him. Grab and go.
Just a reminder there too, JB. Get tech savvy, y'all, because you're going to be using your phone for a lot of stuff at Williams-Brice Stadium, not just getting in to the game. So
Yeah.
make sure you do a walkthrough before you get there on Saturday trying to get into the stadium.
Yeah, for those of you that are going to get on the message boards on Friday night and go, where do I get my tickets? Listen up. They're already there. Go into your account and download them into your Apple Wallet or download them into your phone. Do it. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Hey, Mox, you can do it. That's it. That's all I got. Gamecock Traditions, GamecockTraditions.com, where you can get this and this. I think there's no better way to advertise for them than just put it on the.
We don't want to see your Gamecock boxers, JB.
How do you know I'm wearing any? GamecockTraditions.com. That section that they've built in there that is specific to Nike is just awesome. I mean, it's just awesome. They got everything you can find. If you got a daughter or son or niece or nephew or something like that at not at Williams Springs, on campus as a freshman, and you need some things to soup up the dorm room, you got a whole section for that. So go in there and check it out, GamecockTraditions.com. So we'll get to a break here in I tell you what, let me answer this question real quick. I've got the chat box up today. How about that? Blake asked, can we confirm that Matthew Smiley has something to do with the prompt practice times? No, he did not. They've been doing this. This is their third year doing this, actually. They did it in 24. Last year I asked Coach about it, and basically they had gotten it down to a science where it was like, we have this many players doing this. We have this many players doing this. We need X amount of time per each player in each drill, and that's how it worked out. And so they take that and you take your total amount of practice time that you can use, and then what do we want to do on each day? And instead of just like trying to fill time to get to 2 hours on this day or something, it's let's maximize our time if it's an hour and 37 minutes. And then on this day, if we need to do more, we'll go 2 hours and 26 minutes. It's a pretty complicated system is what it sounds like, but actually when you lay it out, it's not. It's pretty cool. They started doing that a couple of years ago, and that's what Coach told us about it last year. So this one today didn't even last an hour. It started at 9:10 and ended at 10:07. So they probably didn't even break a sweat out there, Matt. Just run out there and do some jumping jacks and then get off the field, right? Get going, get to class, I guess, except for Lenore's. Are you surprised that became like some big story? For anybody wanting, Lenore Sellers is not the first athlete to ever just have a part-time internship in a semester like this. This wasn't like breaking news. It's not like he's just like coasted through college. I mean, I was pretty baffled at how many people decided that this was going to be like their top story. I'm like, okay.
It's one of those things that, you hear about, and it is common. It's not uncommon. But, I just feel bad for him that it's out there now, because anytime he messes up, well, what's he doing with his free time? He's not focused on football. But yeah, this happens all over the place. I mean, this happens in Charleston Southern. I mean, I knew athletes that basically hung out for their last year in college.
Yeah, 100%. Like this, it's not like a big deal. Lenoris, if you're watching, we got your back. Yeah. I bet he's not the only one on this year's football team, let alone all time. So it was kind of strange, how that became like some major talking point. Somebody, like people like wanted to like prove a point, or I don't know what the angle was there, but it was quite odd, to be honest. And
Harrison down here, Harrison says he'll have that same setup his senior year. Good job, Harrison. Way to be studious and get ahead of it.
Yeah, well, that's how you want to set it up, especially if you're an athlete, you are working to take advantage of the system. So good on Lenore Sellers. I think
you're going to see it more, especially with this, 5 to play 5. And there's going to be a lot of athletes that are doing this, a lot of athletes.
And probably not even showing up to some of those internships as well. All right, well, I tell you what, it's 10:16. And we do need to step aside and hit a quick TO here, Mr. Anderson. So we do have Raphael coming up today. Anybody that has the questions, go ahead and put them into the McKellar Enterprises chat box, hashtag AskRaph, if you're going to put it out on X. It could be anything. If you've got something that's way off the radar, that's okay. That's all right. He might be able to get that answered for us as well. So hashtag Ask Raph, or obviously if you're in here, just plug it on in and we'll make sure we ask him. John Strickland is ahead today. JC, of course, will be here, or Jebediah, whatever he's going by these days. And of course, the Mad Dog and his stash will be here as well. It's the morning show presented by the West Law Firm and our buddies at Resto Pros. We'll be right back.
Subscribe to thebigspur.com. Proud partners of On3.
Gamecock Traditions is your Nike superstore and your home for anything and everything with a South Carolina logo. Visit us in the Midlands and order online at GamecockTraditions.com. Go Gamecocks!
Looking for thrills? Then welcome to the South Carolina Education Lottery, where every chance at a win comes with a chance of a whiff.
Wait, what? What does she have to be so happy about?
Well, quite a bit, Jeff. That face right there, that's a face that says fun. But when the game stops being fun and that face goes away, it might be time to take a break.
Okay, that makes sense. Thanks. Mystery voice?
No problem, Jeff. Playing for fun makes you a better player, and a better player is a better you.
You know, in Gamecock Country, home truly means more. And whether you're buying or selling a home, Renee Fryer brings local market expertise and personal care to every move because it means more. Mike here for Renee Fryer with Home Advantage Realty. No matter where you are in the state of South Carolina, she will make sure you have the advantage on your side. That's Home Advantage Realty, and that's Renee Fryer, always an easy phone call away. 803-271-4777. Make sure you have the home field advantage with Renee Fryer of Home Advantage Realty.
Whether it's fireside or poolside, if it's time to watch the Gamecocks, Palm Casual will make your outdoor space the best it can be. Visit palmcasual.com and come see us at one of our South Carolina locations. Go Gamecocks!
Today and every day, we celebrate our great state of South Carolina. This week, our hometown highlight takes us to the PD in Lake City, home of the great Darla Moore and our friends in Johnsonville. We love the PD.
Hey guys, this is Mason West with the West Law Firm. We want to say hey to all our friends and family out in Lake City and the Johnsonville areas. This is a great football part of the state. We can help y'all out in any way. Give us a call, 843-897-7525.
This is Inside the Gamecocks, part of the Chief Sports Network. It's time for Carolina football, presented by Palm Casual Outdoor Patio Furniture.
When I wake to find the solace of all we've become, I can't wait to make the promises that I believe of. Take me down, let me see how I'll be there in the morning when times have changed. I'll be there through the lies and all. I'll be standing like your soldiers and you told through the days when I need to be alone. I will wait for you through the rise and fall. I'll be there in the morning when times have changed. I will wait for you through the rise and fall.
We are getting 15 days from Carolina kicking off the football season at Williams-Brice Stadium. Welcome back. It is 10:20 on a Friday, August the 21st. We got our buddy Raphael Esparza in here, the global odds maker of all global odds makers. I did get an email last night, Matt. Want to say thank you to all of you because FeedSpot, once again, for the third consecutive year, has us as the #1 sports show in South Carolina. So that was pretty cool. And certainly it's always neat to be out and about. And it's
You're
really
welcome.
well. Thank you. Yeah, that would be you. That would be because of you. And it's always neat. We run into a lot of athletes, parents, and things like that just randomly from time to time. And it's always neat to hear from them because we're pretty respectful of the athletes and guys like that around here. So thanks to you guys like you that make us better. Number one for the third straight year here in South Carolina, and we're going to keep on going, keep getting better. Raphael, you're number one in our program and number one in our hearts. What's up, man?
Nothing. How are you guys doing today? Someone in the chat wants to know who's going to win the Natty because he wants some quick cash. There's no such thing as quick cash in my industry. It's always stressful. And then someone in the chat always says, "Hope everyone has a stressful football season." If you're watching football and you're not stressed, you're doing something totally wrong. Because even if you're gambling, or if you're just a fan or not, fantasy or just watching it, you're always stressing. Watching any type of sport on a tube.
Yeah, especially around here.
There's a reason that Vegas has all these big buildings, right? You can't win every single bet.
Yeah.
That is true. I mean, I tell people there's the reason why the lights were always on in Las Vegas. The only time I did not see the lights on was during the pandemic, which I thought I was in an episode of The Walking Dead during that time. But there's a reason why I get paid for doing what I am, because people love to do the P word, that's parlay. People love to do outrageous stuff like the Cleveland Browns to win the Super Bowl. There's always stuff that makes me want to scratch my head and just say thank you.
Well, I tell you what, man, I'm going to say thank you to, I don't think this should be any sort of shocking news or anything like that, but we'll say thank you to ESPN and College Game Day because they're going to ship their staff off to Oxford in week 3. They've gone ahead and announced that LSU at Ole Miss is where they're going to be.
What a shock.
Is anybody, I think the Big Ten might send their show down there. You know, that game is, I mean, what else is anybody going to be talking about that day going into that whole week going into that game?
Oh my! They're talking about it right now, JB. They've been talking about it for 7 months.
Exactly. I mean,
and I'm glad you're just getting it over it in week 3. I don't want to. Can you imagine if this was like week 10, or we would have to hear this like every week and stuff like? So I'm just glad I wish it was week 1. They were getting this game over with, but I'm just so happy that I don't have to hear about this.
Well,
I shouldn't say a rivalry because it hasn't been a rivalry. It's just a brand new rivalry. It's not like we saw in Wrigley Field where the White Sox and Cubs had better fights in the stands and they had at the ball game and stuff like that. It's not a rivalry. It's just a hated group of people right now.
Yeah, it is. I kind of wish it was like the NFL to an extent. You know how the NFL, like every year, it's like Sunday night opening, the Chiefs and the Eagles. Like, they just played in the Super Bowl. Yeah, we're opening the season with them. You know what I mean? Like, could college football find a way to do it? What's the biggest storyline? That's Lane and Ole Miss. All right, the hell with it. We're putting them on ABC on Saturday night, first game of the season. Maybe we'll get going there. If enough money's involved, they'll get there. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
I'll be a big Ole Miss fan that day.
Yeah, I know you will. I don't know how you live in the state of Louisiana. You know, you can't imagine you can go get groceries.
When I'm on the air in Baton Rouge or something like that, yeah, I'm not the. I swear, I think they put me on the air because I think the phone lines just light up because just people are just angry and. But say, hey, sometimes the truth hurts. So hey.
Well, you're going to get some truth.
Best football team in the state of Louisiana, 3 straight years. Green Wave.
Hey, what are you hearing on Rattler, by the way? Because the word is they're going to probably try to pass him off. What do you hear?
Yeah, I've heard the same thing. I wouldn't be shocked if Washington makes a phone call because they lost Moriato probably for a while or maybe the whole season. So I wouldn't be shocked. This week right here is probably, like we saw a couple games yesterday, whole bunch of games today and Saturday for NFL. This is a week right now where maybe my backup quarterback is not what we thought it would. Let's call around and see. I think a lot of people are going to make that phone call to the Saints and say, hey, what's Spencer Rattler? Because I heard Wilson has outshined him during practice and stuff.
I think, we watched him play here for 2 years, and I just can't obviously thank him enough for being the all class that he was. I mean, Raphael, 23 was a tough year, and a lot of 22, let's be honest, was a tough year as well. I mean, clearly they kicked it into gear later in the season, and they had some nice moments earlier in the season, but it wasn't like, I think when Spencer Rattler committed to play football at South Carolina out of the transfer portal. I mean, Matt, you know, if you feel differently, you chime in here, but I think a lot of folks thought, damn, Shane Beamer won 7 games in his opening season. He signed Spencer Rattler and Austin Stogner in the offseason out of the portal. This thing could get real. And they did win 8 games, but then they took a step back. But it never really like kind of got to that level of, we got to see Spencer Rattler play the way that everybody hoped they would on a weekly basis. And a lot of it, most all of it actually, at the end of the day, wasn't his fault, but he took the blame every single Saturday when things didn't go well. He stood up there and he was like, no, I'm the quarterback. It's my fault. And people just, you know, they wrapped their arms around him for that. But I think that now that he's been in the league, wouldn't you agree, Raphael? Like we've all kind of felt like he's been shafted a little bit. And I think that he probably is kind of gotten to that point. Like, what else? Just trade me. You know, I don't care. Just get rid of me so I can go get a fresh start somewhere else.
Yeah, I do like his demeanor. I mean, he's always had it in college, and even had it when the Saints, when they were going back and forth with quarterbacks. But sometimes you just need a new jersey to put on, and see who your true colors really are. Yeah, you can go to the stand up in the podium and say it's my fault. You know, and keep on saying it. But at the end of the day, it's about play, not fault. So if he puts a new jersey on and plays better and another team, that's perfectly fine. I'm happy for him. But you just can't keep on going up to the podium and say, hey, I'm the quarterback, it's my fault, and keep on adding up L's, and L's.
Especially when you look around and you're like, this is not my fault. Like, I don't block. You know, like, that's not my job.
Or in a league where it's always the quarterback's fault, which is horrible. It's. I mean, you can have you can have Little League World Series as your offensive lineman. Your quarterback's gonna suck. It doesn't matter, no ifs, ands, or buts. But who do we blame? We blame the quarterback. We don't blame him. How many third stringers are on the offensive line, or left tackle is now the center, or the cornerback is now playing left tackle because that's how depleted you are. Who are we gonna blame? We're gonna blame the quarterback.
Well, it's one of the most elite fraternities in college sports. There's only 32 of them at any given time, you know, starting quarterback. And like we talked about with bets earlier, all of them don't win and 16 teams lose when there's no bye week. So it's got to be somebody's fault.
It is, but we don't blame pitchers in baseball as much as we do quarterbacks.
Right.
I mean, yes, there's more pitchers. Like you said, there's 32 and all that. But sometimes, hey, errors matter. I mean, if the shortstop loves a double play and leads the guy in first, and then the guy hits a 2-run homer to win the game, well, it was the shortstop that bluffed the double play ball, not the pitcher. Who are we going to blame? We're going to blame the pitcher, not the guy that threw the error or is a shortstop. So it's kind of, yes, there's 32 jobs open in quarterback, but we put too much blame. We need to put other blame on other sides of the field, both sides, offense and defense.
Well, you know, that's the exact same thing around here at the University of South Carolina. I mean, you know, we're going to talk about the Gamecocks with you coming up here at the end of this segment. But, you know, Lenore Sellers, you know, this kid last year, he certainly had some moments he would like to have back. He had some tough ball games. He had some tough moments, some bad. He made some bad decisions. It is what it is. But there's also still a percentage of people out there, and it's become increasingly smaller, but there's still a percentage of people out there, I think, that have looked at Lenore Sellers and they're like, oh, he's just an athlete, nothing more. And that's just a bunch of crap. You know, I mean, we've watched the kid play and we know what he's made of, and we know what he had to go through last year too, from the guy who was in charge of the offense to a lot of what was around him and what they were doing. And what did he do? He stood up there and took the blame every week. And, you know, I think he not only earned the respect of his teammates in doing so, but I think we've kind of turned the page. You know, Matt would probably agree. We try to get through the numbers around here a lot. Matt's big in analytics. You know, I've been big in going back and finding out the why, not just the what. Why? Why did it happen? And then I think a lot of these kids are looking at this going, yeah, that's my quarterback. You know, I'm going to go out there and ball out for him. We're not putting him through this again because he just sat there and just wore it week in and week out last season. Hopefully that'll change.
You know how that changes is wins.
Yeah, you got to win.
Doesn't matter what kind of stats he has. He can have throwing for 160 yards for the game, but if they win by double digits and stuff like that, they're not going to care about how much he threw or how many interceptions.
Connor Shaw didn't throw 250 yards every game.
Yep.
Yeah. Connor would have weeks where he ran for 50 yards and threw for 179, and he was a hero. You know, and you know, but all right, I want to go through South Carolina's schedule with you. Okay, the power games, the 10 power games. There's been a little bit of movement in some of the over/under win totals. We have hit on a lot of these the last couple of weeks. Next week, we're going to be talking about actual football games. So I want to get through it, and then we'll finish with the Gamecocks and let you give us any best bets. Mississippi State, right now, they're over. Not that. Okay, fine. He's got to win.
I'm not sold on Mississippi State.
Their total's 4.5. Are they over under 4.5?
They're not. The Mississippi State is the Miami Dolphins of the SEC. I'm trying to find a fifth win for Mississippi State, and I can't find that fifth win. Just like I couldn't find a fifth win for the Miami Dolphins, which is very not to go off track. Yesterday, Sportsbook started moving the Dolphins team season total wins to 3.5. So that's how much money's coming in on them. But I'm with the Mississippi State. It's hard for me to find 5 wins under.
Look,
I'm looking at it too. I can't find them.
They have 5 top 15 teams current top 15 teams on their schedule. That doesn't include Missouri. Obviously, that doesn't include the trip to Columbia either. Minnesota in week 2, that's a big game for the Bulldogs in your mind, right? Okay.
Yes. If you're betting total season wins, or if you're just a fan of itself of Mississippi State, that's a big game for against Minnesota.
Okay. Just a quick follow-up on that, by the way. There's a lot going on publicly with Camario Taylor, guys. I do believe Camario Taylor is probably actually a pretty good quarterback. I'm not saying I'm like buying this crazy hype, but I do think he's going to be a really good player for them, and I do think he is capable of leading the Bulldogs to a win or two that a lot of people aren't expecting. I mean, somebody's got to get better from the bottom of the SEC around here. People are
They need to run the ball. They just can't run the ball. Simple.
Got to run the football. Defense is the problem, though.
Yes,
that's a big bugaboo there,
and it's going to be a huge problem again this year because their secondary is not good at all.
Their entire defense isn't very good when I look from an analytics standpoint. I mean, they brought in some transfer portal guys, a lot of SEC retreads. I can't find one thing to make me think they're going to stop a nosebleed this year against SEC opponents.
Golly, you're just throwing stones at the Dogs, man. Come on. All right. Carolina's on the road at Alabama in week 2. The Tide are sitting there at 8.5 over under.
Man, everyone's bashing them, thinking they're going to have like a 6-7 win. At the end of the day, it's still Alabama. They still get really, really good athletes, even though Saban's not there or a guy that wore a checker hat is not there anymore. I like the over. I think they're going to be one of those surprise teams that maybe in week 5, 6, or 7, like, wow, they keep on moving up the rankings. I kind of like Alabama. I'll take the over in this one.
Okay.
They have that 3-game stretch, JB.
Yeah.
Do the wheels fall off in any way, shape, or form? You know, does the quarterback controversy come in?
You're talking about a 4-game stretch: Georgia, Tennessee, A&M, and LSU.
Yeah, 4. Sorry.
But they get A&M at home, and again, I'm not sold. A&M, the Buffalo Bills of the SEC, the Buffalo Bills of college football. I'm tired of this is their year. Oh, look who all they signed. Look at the money they spent, and where are they at? Nowhere. So no.
All right, well, hold on to that because we're getting A&M. Question for you. This is my personal opinion. I'm a big believer in this. Even with everything that's going on up in Lexington with new coach and all that stuff, that game in Lexington in week 2 spooks me a little bit for Alabama. That the Wildcats in the last couple of years haven't been able to score. They haven't been able to defend. We'll see what that looks like this season with an offensive coach, Will Stein. But they took Georgia to the brink in 2024, lost by 1 point. Texas almost lost up there last year. They've had a bunch. Ole Miss had to escape in Lexington. This is early on the road. Week 2, only SEC game on the slate. I'm not asking.
They go to A&M right after they play Alabama, so it could be a very long 3 weeks for a Big Blue Nation.
Well, it could be, but I mean, an inspired Kentucky team in week 2. Alabama, do they need to be careful in week 2?
like Kentucky to cover that number. It's going to probably be a big number, but I still think Bama wins that game.
Okay. All right. Well, guess what? Kentucky's next on the schedule for South Carolina here. The Wildcats are at 4.5 wins this year, over and under.
I do Big Blue Nation right after this show, so maybe some of them are watching the show before I jump on their air. So I don't want to be coming into their airwaves on a negative notes. But I, here's another one. I just couldn't find a fifth win. And you're correct. This Alabama game is probably it could either spiral their season, because I just mentioned they play Alabama. They have an easy They play East Carolina their first game, then they play Bama. But if they lose against Bama at home, and then they get, let's say, butt kicked against A&M, boy, weeks 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it's going to be very, very long weeks for a Big Blue Nation up in Lexington. I like the under in Kentucky.
They will beat Youngstown State in week 1, right?
Oh, I'm Youngstown State, not East Carolina. Yeah, the Penguins. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Raphael's saying you can't find 5. I can't find 4. Sure.
Oh, I think they'll find a way to get
as well.
I think they'll find a way to get to 4. Maybe their fourth one is on the road.
Who's your fourth
Missouri.
one?
At Missouri. Missouri's going to go 0-12 this year.
0-12? Wow.
I'm just
I
hoping
hope
and
so.
wishing.
My brother's in-laws all went to Mizzou. So
I'm just speaking for the rest of the SEC, guys. That's all I'm doing here. Florida Gamecocks head to the Swamp on October the 10th. The Gators are 7. The over-under is set at 7.5 here in the first season of John Summerall.
Back in the day when I first got in this business in 1997, we used to put total season wins 6, 6.5, 7. Not every number had a half a point, and this one right here deserves a solid 7, not 7.5, a solid 7. And we would hope for the push in this game, and this is what I have. I have them winning 7 games, but that's an iffy. That's a huge iffy, and they have to stay healthy, because I just don't know how they're going to take to the new head coach coming from the best football team in the state of Louisiana, Tulane. It's going to be very interesting to see how they react to his antics, his coaching style. Do they accept it right away? If they do, then maybe they can shock some teams. But I get them solid 7 wins.
Raphael, there's one thing that I'm looking at this schedule and thinking about is you have, that tough stretch all the way from Auburn down to Oklahoma for the Gators. But, bringing the offensive coordinator from Georgia Tech over, now they play Georgia on Halloween. Is there any edge that you can see for the Gators in that matchup just based on having some familiarity with the program?
You got to see how they do with that 3-game stretch before that game. They have two tough road games and a tough home game where they play. They play South Carolina at home. So before I even look at that Halloween game, you have to see how they're going to react coming in to that Halloween game and how they played on a tough 3-stretch game. So it's fun when people always say, "Oh, look at this, circle this game. We've circled this game November 1st or Halloween and all that." Yeah, you can circle a game all you want. What's your momentum going into that game? We can circle a whole bunch of games on August 21st, but we have no idea what the momentum of coming in to that month and a half type of game. So I like that game on Halloween. It gives me something not to hand out candy and watch football, but it should be a very interesting game.
My
I
poor
love
kid.
that take because we jump ahead.
I'm gonna.
I hate when people, "Hey, can you come on and we want to talk about performances during Christmas?" I'm like, why? What's the point? I'm like, someone can be hurt. You might have dropped 4 straight games by double digits. I mean, there's so many factors, and I know it's clickbait. I know you guys need stuff to talk about 365 days a year, but if you take a step back and look at it in my point of view, sometimes that talk is not really worth it because something bad can happen. Sellers could be out. You might have a backup quarterback that's doing better numbers than Sellers, and Sellers comes back, and you switch your quarterback because now your backup quarterback is doing better. There's so many different scenarios.
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry. We'll never do that to you. By the way, I need to correct Matt here on the record. You mentioned that the stretch for Florida ending against Oklahoma. You have paid attention over the last 8 years to Florida's road trips to Lexington, Kentucky, right? It hasn't mattered whether Kentucky's good or not. It's mattered that they've just given them problems. Now, that could have been a Stoops thing. Could be in a different scenario here, but Lexington
And
hasn't
Florida
been
struggles against the spread in the month of November. So if you're fading Florida, they struggle against the spread in the month of November.
Okay.
I'm sensing something from JV with Kentucky right now.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I thought maybe I was on the
look,
Blue Blue Nation station already. I'm like, am I did I dial in the wrong link? Am I on
No, I look, I feel like I generally have a feel for teams that might be a little bit better than people think they are. And I'm not saying Kentucky's going to be some world beater or Arkansas or anything, but these teams, they've got a new start. There's a new energy. They're going to beat somebody. It's just a matter of who.
But some teams have new starts every year and they're in the same position, aka Nebraska, aka Wisconsin, aka Florida, aka Texas A&M. The list can go on.
All right, well, let's talk about Tennessee then, because I feel like this is free money. The Vols over under set at 7.5. There's a lot of people who are buying into Tennessee being much better than that.
Yeah, even though the plus money on the under looks very intriguing because I was trying to find a solid, I'm talking about a solid 8 win, but I could see Tennessee have some wins where you scratch your head and like, wow, I can't believe they won that game. And that's how Tennessee usually is year after year. You got to look at the over, even though the juice is a little bit too high. But I did look at that under with plus money, but Tennessee's always has 1 or 2 games that you're like, wow, I can't believe they beat that game team.
Well, I mean, look, Furman, Georgia Tech, Kennesaw State, Arkansas, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, Auburn at home. Those are all wins for Tennessee.
Yeah, Vanderbilt is going to be a downward spiral this year. People can't wait to go to Nashville. Right? There's another total season wins that I'm sure we're getting ready to talk to, but I can't find 6 wins in the total season. And it's
all right, Oklahoma's has moved. Last time we talked, they were at 7.5.
Yes.
This has moved to 8.5.
Yeah, tons of money coming in. I think in the last 3 weeks, Oklahoma is probably one of the top 3 teams on total season wins. I don't know, maybe that's why the coach got an extension. Was it yesterday or the day before? Maybe that's the reason why. But yeah, tons of Oklahoma money coming in.
Are we over 8.5? Are you saying over? Getting a little tight here.
You know what? I would say yes, but I would say don't bet it because 7.5 is a really good number, but that was deep juice. Minus 140, minus 150. Now it's 8.5. Maybe a lot of these books do alternate total season wins when the season has started. I say maybe look at that number because you missed a better number, but I do believe they go over 7.5, and I wouldn't touch 8.5.
I think it's a public thing too, because we just said last week I'm on Oklahoma, like in my head, and maybe that's just a public shift up, JB.
Yeah, could be. I mean, I like Oklahoma. I think they're really good defensively, and John Mateer, I think, is a breakout star in the making.
It's all about that right there. You mentioned that's how Oklahoma's going to. We're going to see defense. We're going to see them run the ball. It's all going to be their quarterback play.
All right, here you go. Get out of the way, Matt. Texas A&M, over under 8.5.
Taking the under.
What do you got?
I kind of agree with them too, because again, there's teams that I don't look to play anymore, and they're on my list. I mean, Nebraska's been on my list for the past 10 years. Wisconsin's been on my list for the past 5 years. A&M's been on my list for 3 years. Buffalo Bills, not to win a Super Bowl, have been on my list. And the list keeps on getting stronger, and I keep on adding teams. And right now, if I'm buying stock and adding teams, I'm adding Texas A&M because I'm tired. I'm tired of hearing it. I'm tired of, oh, this is our year. We got this person. We got this person. NIL this person. And where are they at towards the end of the season? Nowhere to be found. So, no, I agree. Under until they prove me wrong. I looked at the number under before the numbers even came out. I didn't care what the number was. If it was 2.5, I would probably bet the under.
The final 5 is the stretch. At Bama, at South Carolina, Tennessee, at Oklahoma.
And your Kentucky Wildcats might get them in week 3.
No, I'm not predicting that. They've got Kentucky at home, and no. That's not going to be close. But okay, so you're going to take the under. So you're going back to normal A&M.
Even Arizona State, even though this is not the same Arizona State we saw last year, but they're still going to be competitive. They still have a lot of speed on that team that the Sun Devils have. That could be a problem for the Aggies. So, yeah, if you look at the SEC schedule, yeah, it's a little bit brutal, but don't sleep on Arizona State on this game.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, this, that, and the other, as Coach Spurrier would say. Arkansas, 3.5.
Over. I think there's some.
Thank you.
I'm downward on Vandy. I'm downward on your Kentucky Wildcats, but I think Arkansas is a much better team than what the numbers are. And I think they're going to. I think this number was watching them play last year, and I think they're going to be a totally different team than what we saw last year on the field, especially through the run game. And I think their defense is a little bit improved. I like this. I shouldn't say I like. I like this number, so I'm going to bet this number over.
Defense. Don't forget, with Arkansas, they lost 67 players to the transfer portal from a bad defense, and now they added 47. 0-3 has them at the number 9 transfer portal class in the country, so they should be better.
Look, they're not going to lose to Northern Alabama. I don't think they're going to lose to Tulsa. Those are the only two that you say.
Tulsa can score if it's a high scoring game. And what did we see last year? Arkansas had trouble putting points on it. Don't sleep on Tulsa.
That's why I said I don't think. But I mean, from there, look, they're going to have to get better as the year goes along. I mean, they ain't going to Texas and winning. They're not going to Auburn and winning. I don't think. They can win.
Not going to Utah. Not going to Bravo.
They're not going to be good enough yet to beat Utah in week 2. They're just not. I mean, that's a tough game for them. I'm sure they wish that game wasn't on the schedule with everything they've been through down there. Okay, all right. So you're taking the over at 4. Georgia 10.5.
Not over. I think I said on your show, it's Georgia, Oregon for me in a national championship. We're hearing Big Ten win the Natty because they should. They've won it on how many years? But Georgia, no one's really talking about Georgia. It's always Oregon, Ohio State. How much money Ohio State spent? LSU because of Kiffin. But no one's really talking about Georgia, and I like this Georgia team. Even though I still have the Ducks winning the Natty, but they're playing Georgia in that game.
Okay, so Georgia 11.5.
Ooh. Probably no.
They got to lose one.
I know. I wouldn't play the 11.5.
Okay. All right, Clemson 7.5.
It's all going to be about that LSU game because again, I think if the wheels could fall off if they get blown away.
You do
again. Yeah, I think the wheels come up because here's another one. I'm almost putting them on my buy stock low level every year because I'm tired of listening to Clemson because they haven't gone with the program. Of college football now these days. So if they get blown away by LSU, what are these kids going to hear for the whole weekend and a whole couple of days after that game? What's their demeanor? What's the momentum in that locker room if they get blown away by the Bayou Bengals? Which, you know me, I'm rooting for Clemson in that game. But that game right there is going to, I think, to my eyes, going to determine what kind of season they have.
Wow. You better be careful out at Cal. Matt? What did JC call the Cal game?
JC calls things a lot of things. I don't know.
Cal on a Friday night at 10:30. I mean, look,
something like the WB network.
Our Clemson buddies up the road, man. Like
the CW network. That's the WB. It's the CW network.
Yeah.
Jeez, Matt, get it correct.
Who do y'all play this weekend? We go to Alabama. Who do you have? Oh, we're at Cal. Oh.
Why are you making fun of Cal? Great golf programs.
Just far away.
Always really good.
So, what did you say? Did you say over or under?
Over on Georgia.
No.
Craig wants me to know
Clemson.
If Oregon.
Clemson.
Oh, Clemson. Under.
Oh, well, you just made a lot of people happy. Okay. All right, hold
Craig
on.
wants to know, does Oregon have the best defense in the country? I think they have the fastest defense in the country. But I can't put them as the top defense. I think there's a lot of good defenses out there.
Oregon, Georgia, Oklahoma, Ohio State, Notre Dame. Those are the 5 best defenses in college football, if you ask me.
I would agree. I'm not sold on Notre Dame's defense. I have to see them play. But I agree with you on Georgia. And I'm not 100% sold on Ohio State either. But Oregon has so much speed on defense.
Yeah.
I mean, but the only thing bad about that kind of speed, you also produce a lot of missed tackles when you have a lot of speed on defense.
Yeah. And the South Carolina Gamecocks, the over-under sits at 6.5 in Shane Beamer's 6th season as the head coach.
Buying over.
You're buying
double mortgage. Double mortgage to my house. Asked for double allowance from the wife. Bidding over. It's all about Sellers. It's if he can get out of his head for what happened last year, if they can produce a running game that they couldn't do last year, then this team can put an L on a lot of teams that they thought they were going to have a W. So it's all about Sellers. This team right here, and I'm not just blowing smoke because I'm on you guys' show.
I know
this
that.
team right here could be the reason why, oh my God, I can't believe we're not in the playoffs, or I can't believe now we're playing in a toilet bowl and not a better bowl game is because we lost to South Carolina. And it's going to be because of Sellers in the offense. I think their defense is going to be okay. Now, can they put points on the field, and can they protect Sellers? It's all about him, his health, and the offense, not the defense. I think the defense will be
It'll be fine.
We'll play their game. It's all about Sellers, the health, and the offense.
So over
and his internship, if he gets paid on it. Does he get paid in his internship?
I think he does.
You've heard that as well, Raphael.
We were talking about this earlier. Like, people are blowing that. Does anybody really think he's the first athlete ever to only have an internship during their season? Like, this is very normal.
Yeah.
He's just the only one who just told the truth. Like, just have an
The only person that was happy that story broke is Jay Daniels.
All right, so over under South Carolina 10.5 wins.
Under.
Oh man, come on. All right.
9.5.
Best weekend bets, my friend. What you got here? Best weekend bets.
Let's see. I'm gonna throw one out. It's not football. I was gonna give you a CFL play, but we're going to the boxing ring. Great fight. Teofimo Lopez is boxing this weekend. I think he wins by decision. You can get a good number. He's like -$4 to win the fight, but I think he wins by decision. So I like Teofimo Lopez. And then the last game of preseason Sunday, Seattle and Tennessee. Both games went over the total. Last weekend, 17 games were played in preseason. 12 of them went under. So if the over trend is going to be this high, maybe with a lot of overs coming tonight and all that, we might see a 40 in that Sunday night game. Bet the under. We're talking about Tennessee. They can't score. They're going to run the ball, both teams. I don't see that game going over, but wait to see what happens today. Wait to see what happens on Saturday. 2 overs yesterday. If overs continue to come in, we'll get a better number Sunday night.
Wonderful. I wonder if Nick Emanwari will be playing on Sunday night. Probably not.
Maybe 10 snaps. Maybe a series.
Yeah, fair enough. That was great. You know what we get to do next week? Talk about real lines.
No, I thought we were going to talk about Cubs baseball next week.
Well, we can do that too. But we get to talk about real football, like TCU.
Week 0.
Okay. Yeah.
When are we going to stop calling it week 0?
I don't.
People who enjoy Coke Zero. I mean, what else?
Hey, I like Coke Zero. But we do have. There are some games, in week 0 this year. They're like, okay, all right, I'm cool.
UNLV plays Memphis.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a fantastic football game. By the way,
if they can stop the run, because we all know what Memphis is going to do and going to do well all year long. Run the ball. If UNLV can stop the run and make Memphis beat them on the arm and wide receivers, even though they have a really good tight end, Memphis, I think UNLV can win. I think there could be another surprising team. UNLV is almost being known as a football college now, because why? They're finally playing in a real stadium. They're playing at the Death Star. They're not playing at Sam Boyd Stadium. It was like an hour-and-a-half drive just to get there.
That's true. That's a 10 o'clock kick on Fox next week. The big ones, obviously, North Carolina, TCU over in Dublin. NC State, Virginia moved back from Brazil. That'll be played at Scott Stadium up in Charlottesville. And I'll tell you another one, too. I mean, this one won't be a game. I do want to see what Florida State looks like that night against New Mexico State. We'll see how much we can learn. But I'm fired up for Jacksonville State, North Dakota State on Saturday afternoon, too, on CBS Sports Network. They're playing in the Fargo Dome. That's just fun to me, man. Jacksonville State's got a neat program. I think that good for them being on national television.
One thing about that TCU North Carolina game before we leave, it's an early game. It's in Dublin. If you like TCU, because I think North Carolina, it's going to be another train wreck of a season, probably.
Agreed.
Grab the 7.5, maybe even buy it down to 7, because I can guarantee you it's going to be 8 or higher before this game kicks off, because everyone's going to be teasing it, parlaying it, moneyline parlaying. Everyone's going to have TCU a teaser, a parlay, whatever. And now, if you like North Carolina, you wait till 10:45 in the morning to get the best number. But if you like TCU and the Horned Frogs, I would hurry up and get it, because that number is just going to skyrocket.
Hurry up and buy. Great stuff as always on Twitter. You can find him at VSI Doc Sports, but also hashtag Ask Raph. And you can find him here on Fridays as well at 10:20 on the morning show. Great to see you, my friend. Really appreciate you as always. It's always a blast.
Take it easy, guys, and hopefully Sellers is getting paid for his internship.
Yeah.
Thanks, Raph. See ya.
We're good. Yeah. Thanks, man. That'll wrap it up. Hour number 1. Hour 2 is on the way. Sherbert and Mad Dog will join at the top. Strickland will join at the bottom. Matt is staying. It'll be another fun and very fantastic Friday. There's the Chief. There he is. Hang tight. Palm Casual presents our coverage of South Carolina football. More when we return.
Join thebigspur.com and Gamecock Central today for the best Gamecock coverage in South Carolina. Proud partners of On3.
Whether it's fireside or poolside, if it's time to watch the Gamecocks, Palm Casual will make your outdoor space the best it can be. Visit palmcasual.com and come see us at one of our South Carolina locations. Go Gamecocks!
Why are you throwing all that money over the falls? If you're buying a Honda or Toyota, that's exactly what you're doing. Look at the Kia Sorento. Get a third-row SUV for $8,000 less than the Highlander. Toyota only has a 5-year warranty. JT's Kia has a 1,000,000-mile warranty.
Don't forget JT's Advantage Package. Oil changes, roadside assistance, and so much more.
Choosing a Sorento over a Highlander is a no-brainer. More features, better warranty, and you save over $8,000.
We're serious about saving you money.
Killian Road, I-77, or Greystone Boulevard.
JT's Kia.
Shopping at Gamecock Traditions is easy. Just pick up your phone. Type in GamecockTraditions.com. Select your items and purchase. They will ship it to your doorstep. GamecockTraditions.com.
The Aventon Adventure 2 takes the same basic design as the original Aventon Adventure, making it an adventure bike designed to take you places that typical roads just don't reach, allowing you to ride whatever terrain you want based on your whims of the day. Look at what you're getting. Hydraulic disc brakes, torque sensor for responsive pedal assist, great LED lighting, suspension, a beautifully welded frame with excellent build quality, included rear rack, included fenders. The list just keeps going on.
Visit electricbikescharleston.com for more.
Sell your quality sports and fitness equipment to Play It Again Sports and get paid. Recycling your in-demand sports gear keeps it available in your community. Sell, buy, trade, and win with Play It Again Sports.
If you need a new fence, railings, even new columns, there is only one call in South Carolina. Gamecock great, Ryan Brewer. Over 15 years in the industry. Visit ryanbrewer.net today.
Watch JC and Morgan every week on the Chief Sports Network. Now back to ITG. You're tuned into Inside the Gamecock, the morning show, part of the Chief Sports Network, proudly presented by the West Law Firm. And brought to you in partnership with Resto Pros of the Midlands. Go Gamecocks!
Yeah, it is the final hour of the morning show. Welcome back. Inside the Gamecocks. Hour 2, presented by the West Law Firm and Resto Pros. There when you need them, Resto Pros of the Midlands, Resto Pros Midlands, SC.com. Still got Ask Raph down there, huh?
Yeah.
Is he rotating?
Well, no, it's nice now. Like they've added like a fade in, fade out feature on the overlay. So like that doesn't have to be there at all. I'm only doing that until we, that QR code on the bottom there. If you do scan it, it will take you to the 75% off deal that we are running right now on the bigspur.com.
That's good.
$29.99.
Yeah, well,
Wizard.
Yeah. All right. Well, Sherbert's still in hair and makeup. He'll be here whenever the hell he gets here. It's kind of how he rolls. And except for when he has to take his wife to work. He'll drop anything, or if we're in the middle of a show and he's having to answer an email, it doesn't matter at that point in time. He'll do that too. But as far as getting here on time, just whenever kind of gets around to it. Welcome back. The Gamecocks off the practice field. They're going to scrimmage again tomorrow. Appreciate Raphael for joining us there, as he always does on Fridays in hour number 1. Strick will be at the bottom of the hour coming up here in about a half hour or so. All right, so
hold on, just Strick.
Yeah, just Strick today.
I thought.
We were going to have Michael, but you just want me to read you here? I'll just read it to you.
Well, I mean, I don't care. I just
I know
just
you
want
don't
to
care.
make it clear that I'm not the idiot in putting that he'd be in.
No. So I said 11:30. You still good? I can't remember if we said 11 or 11:30, and John said 11:30. This was at 9:20 this morning. I always double confirm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then he said when the season starts, yes, the full hour like typical. I said, yeah, I know. You got it. Thank you. We're about 3 hours. This was at 9:20, so 3 hours forward will be 12:20. Right. So we're about 3 hours from Michael texting us after the show to tell us that he got hung up with work and he will be here next week. Then Michael picks up the phone and calls me and tells me that he has forgotten that he has to go eat lunch with his daughter because it's her birthday.
Forgot about the birthday.
That's probably right about the time I sent him an invite link to join the show.
Michael. I mean, he was training somebody that I know in football a few weeks ago, and I said, "Hey, I appreciate you doing that." He's getting better. He's like, "Yeah, this was Wednesday night." Yeah, man, I'm supposed to be out there with him tomorrow. Oh, that's good, but I can't be there. Oh, does he know that? Nah, man, I'm about to call him and tell him. Well, why can't you be there? Man, I'm in Kansas, bro. I mean, it's like, how
you gotta love him.
I don't even want to know.
Like, you gotta love it.
I mean, he called me last week. I was talking to his brother on the phone, and I asked him if he was coming up for that event we were going to, because I was, David, where are you? You ready to go? Or are you gonna be? I'm not in Columbia. I was like, well, Michael said you're staying at the condo with us tonight. Michael's an idiot.
I was
like, well, tell me something I don't know. He said, yeah, no, I stayed at the condo last night to move his son Thomas in. I am home. I'm getting my AT&T swapped out. I was like, all right, well, I'll sounds good. I'm about to tap into this bourbon. I'll holler at you later, man. So,
right. See you later.
I called Michael. I said, hey, your brother's not staying there. Yeah, he is. No, he's not, actually. It's like, where you at? Because we got to leave in an hour. Oh, man, I'm almost there. Where are you? I'm on 526. Good God, man. I was like, it starts at 5. It's 4 o'clock.
You know what? You're not going to make it.
It says I'm going to be there at 5:27. I was like, you ain't going to be here at 5:27. There's a wreck on the interstate. How do you know? Because I already saw it.
That's right.
It's like, yeah. I mean, it's like having a son who
it's
is
great.
43, but more like 3. Yeah.
I knew I almost didn't even mention it in the article that I put out this morning. I'm like, might, I didn't hammer him down to anything.
Using after his name in the article, Phil, just put in parentheses possibly.
Yeah. It's, maybe
Time
not.
call.
I know. Carrie's like, how long have y'all been best friends? I was like, since I was like 13. I mean, he's literally always been like my big brother, and she's like, how have you done this? Like, I don't know.
It's a reframing of expectations, right? Like that's how I deal with it, because it would be incredibly frustrating otherwise to produce a show. Somebody doesn't show up when they're supposed to every week, and but then you're just like, it's cool. It's just Michael, and it's all right. It's just Michael.
He's going down to a pulp film where he's reframed your expectation on him.
It helps him a lot that he's a really good guy and a really nice person, and that he's got a ton of endearing and redeeming qualities if you meet him in person.
JC told me like a few weeks ago, he was like, we were just talking, and I guess he had been talking to John or Michael or something. He's like, man, I'm so happy that you introduced me to these guys. Like, I'm
Right,
so
yeah,
happy I'm
like-
like now a part of y'all's group. And I was like, well, look, I don't run with bad dudes. Like, these are good dudes, but you just got to be able to deal with this, like, yeah. But, and he's just unapologetically himself, like he called me the other night on the way home and he was like checking out of a store and he was getting naturally a bottle of red wine. And I was like, what store are you at? He's like, oh, I'm right here at the Circle K by the house. I was like, you're buying red wine from the Circle K? So, why don't you just go to the grocery store, Mike? Nah, man, it's all good. This is the good stuff. I was like, okay.
It's in a box. Easy to carry.
Yeah. So that's that. Look, Carolina's going to scrimmage tomorrow, and the Gamecocks have some things to figure out. We have all clearly been covering this pretty intently through, I don't know, the last 8 months or so. We've mentioned time and time again that depth is a thing that is in Carolina's favor right now. Like, we could be teetering on the line of depth in numbers, meaning quantity and quality. We're going to find out when they play football, clearly, but the intel has been really good, and the intel has come from people that I'll go with them this go around. You know what I mean? I think we've had some times in the past where you go, thanks for setting me up.
Right.
So, this weekend, I put out something yesterday, kind of just summarizing. Again, it's not like a big breaking news item, but we have to remember there's a lot of people out there who really don't start following it very closely until we get about to this time. And, they're going, well, I wonder what the Gamecocks are going to look like. What are they working on? Where are they? There are a lot of decisions to be made, quite frankly. If you think about it, I think we could all comfortably say we feel like we know what it's going to look like for the most part on September the 5th, guys.
Yeah.
But I think this goes a little bit deeper than just, who's in the starting lineup, right? Can't we all agree on that pretty easily? It's really more along the lines of South Carolina has some elite players. I think David Pollock made a really good point the other day. He said, how many teams in college football have 3 game changers? And South Carolina's got them. And I would go a little bit further than Pollock, although I understand what he's saying. I would say that they might have 4 or 5 actual quote unquote game changers. I mean, I watched Vakari Swain change a couple of games
that's
last year.
The first one I thought of.
Yeah. So it's there's a few more there, but beyond that, who is Carolina? Who are the Gamecocks? And that's when those questions are answered, that at the end of the day is going to be what defines South Carolina having an okay season or a pretty good season or a very good football season, right? If you lose a guy, who do you replace him with? I think one of the things, and John, we're going to talk to John about this, but the offensive line, Raphael nailed it. He's all over it. He's a guy that makes odds. They need to know who the quarterback is and who's protecting them, right? And I think last year a lot of people lost their ass on Lenore Sellers if you were betting on him to do a bunch of good things. The offensive line, I think the key there is the 5 that operate the best together.
Yeah.
Right. And it's because I do believe if you said, well, these are the 5 most talented guys, I don't know if that would be the 5 best to put out there as far as what does that unit look like collectively. And I'm pretty sure early next week, I don't know if Shane Beamer's going to stand up on a podium and say, well, here's our 5 that we're going to start. I don't know that it's going to go that way, but I do think that on Sunday they're going to go, I think that we need to start moving in this direction with this unit right here. Would y'all agree with that?
Yeah.
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 I definitely would.
Yeah.
And it makes, I mean, like I like that the narrative has shifted, like, because for the past few years it's been, these big offensive linemen have, come in with all this talent, all this raw talent as, highly rated guys who just have not been able to coalesce on the field for whatever reason. And this year it's like, well, they don't look like last year, but the whole thing is the system is designed for them to operate more efficiently at a high pace and all of that. So that's what's exciting to me is, okay, I'm glad the narrative's different. I'm glad it's not like we might not be rolling out the 5 most talented players we have. It's like, I don't care. So long as you roll out the 5 that operate the most effective as one, that's what we need.
Especially in this system here. I mean, I think that priority number 1 is that you're not making a bunch of boneheaded mistakes. And I think that's probably priority number 2, 3, and 4. Because if you've got guys that are playing mistake-free football, you can continue to churn the pieces a little bit, and you got good enough athletes. I mean, the offensive line in 2024 wasn't great by any stretch of the imagination, but they were still able to move the football because they weren't shooting themselves in the foot all the time. I mean, the penalties that year weren't great either, but they at least allowed the offense to operate towards, as the season went along. Last year, that it was never really the case. But I mean, the thing that I want to know in my mind, maybe we'll get some answers on this. I don't know. I think they'll probably try to be a little guarded with it afterwards when we start poking around, is how many decisions do they want made by early next week? The kicking thing is one. Okay, we'll let it run until the middle of game week, and then we probably need to make a decision by that Wednesday if we don't have one before. But, I mean, are you willing to give it another week with the running backs? Are you willing to give it another week with the wideouts? Are you willing to give it another week with the guys who are going to back up the starters in the secondary and let them try to iron out the kinks? Or have you seen enough and you're going to go ahead and buckle down and say, all right, well, let's go ahead and put our lineup out there and let's let them just start working? Because you do start game prep, I mean, obviously. I'm curious of all the things that still kind of need to be resolved, the urgency in which they want those answers to start working on actually preparing for the football season instead of just training to play football.
I would start out by responding to that, JB, by just saying, I think you want to know the guys you're running with. I mean, I feel like this second scrimmage should give you that information because the players have to know the playbook. They have to know what they're doing. You have to be, it's not just the offensive line in this system. It's everybody getting up to the line of scrimmage after a play. It's everybody knowing where they're going, how they're going to create this space to put the defense in conflict. So I feel pretty confident that the offensive line that emerges from this second scrimmage is going to be the offensive line that we see week 1 against Kent State. And I would say the same thing for wide receivers. I'd say for running back, I think they have enough guys where I think it could truly be a hot hand approach to start the season. Maybe there's still a battle to be had there. And then defensively, I think on the secondary needs to be sorted out. I mean, players work better when they have their role. They know what their clear role is. So I think you kind of want to have everything settled going into week 1 prep.
Yeah, I think at wide out, I think it's Harbor and I think it's Bennett. I think those are the top 2.
I throw Black in there too. I'm getting a lot of praise for DJ Black behind the scenes.
I've been on DJ Black for months. People didn't even want to believe me when I was saying that back. And matter of fact, there was a lot of people that were like, he was a walk-on. I don't give a crap if he was a walk-on or not. I'm telling you right now what he did in spring. I think that what I'm saying is if you said, I got to put 2 guys on the field, I think those are the first 2 guys that they're going to choose.
Yeah.
Bennett has been special since March. I mean, he had a wonderful spring, he had a wonderful summer, and he's having an amazing camp. And he is all over. Nick Harbor's Nick Harbor. Black worked his way into it. This is the way that I'm looking at it. Black worked his way into it, right, in the spring. Mm-hmm. Donovan Murph played a lot last year and played well. And he's going to play well again. But he's worked his way into it. Sequel has worked his way into it. Obviously, the loss of Jaden Sellers sucks, man. But, okay, so he's eliminated from this. Malik Clark has worked his way into the mix. Nitro came in, has worked his way into the mix. I know that Mazio has worked his way into the mix as well, but Mazio has had probably, again, based on the three or four people that I actually trust there in that department of how's he been, he's probably had the best year training wise of every wide receiver on the team. So I kind of elevate him. Lex Cyrus has worked his way into this. Wasn't here as much about some of these guys in the spring, and now all of a sudden here they are. Same thing with Jordan Gidron. I mean, there's been the last three or 4 days, well, pretty much this week. Yeah. 3 or 4 days, hey man, he has really made some nice plays out there. I didn't miss anybody. So like we've basically named the whole, but it's all been like, well, he's done good, or he did well, or he did this. But every single time there's Mazio. Every single time there's Nick. You know what I'm saying? So I think like 3, 4, and 5 are 3, 4, and 5, but they're also the most interchangeable to get to your 5. So I'm trying to figure, I'll be curious to see whether they decide, let's just move forward with these guys. And then once we get into ball games next week, well, if somebody pops, if somebody falls apart, whatever the case is, it'll start to intertwine from there. Or do they let it keep going?
Well, I think that, just remembering how fast they're not going to allow substitutions for the defense, right? Right, Phil, and right, JB. So if you don't know the playbook and you're not ready to go, you might be on the field 10 straight plays. So they need to go find those guys that can do it. I mean, the loss of Jaden Sellers hurts because I could have seen Jaden even sliding outside in some scenarios, allowing Mazio to play in the slot more than, just a true timeshare. Mazio's on the sideline because Jaden's in the slot. I'll be interested what happens when we have the fallout from the scrimmage and see who ran predominantly with the ones. I mean, this is going to be much more 1-versus-1 coming out of the scrimmage is the way I've been, it's been expressed to me.
Yeah. Oh, I think so too. All right.
Yeah.
So if you started up front, then Carter Miller at center, Poku at right guard, those two are pretty secure. I mean, Hay is beating on the door, but I think Carter Miller's going to hold on there. And then Kojo Poku at right guard. Kojo Poku is going to be the right guard.
Shed's going to be somewhere.
Yeah, and I don't know that's again. I mean, he's got to be in there. Where? But you could. I'll be curious to see where he is to start tomorrow, because there's 3 spots that you could put him in. And you're like, he's going to be okay. He'll be fine at right tackle. He'll be fine at left guard, and and he'll be fine at left tackle too. I think that they would like to probably have a Seth Smith maybe work his way in there if they could. But you've got, Hank Purvis has seemingly been running with the ones for quite some time at left guard, and Nolan Hay, I just am not going to be shocked if he takes somebody's job. So if Nolan Hay walks in and says, I'm going to take this, Shed's going to have to be on the field. Which tackle spot is he at? Dane Arnett is in the mix. I can't wait to see what they put out there first and how they operate. And then when they have to make a change, who goes where? Because the cross-training has been a big deal here.
That's what I want to ask John when we get him there in a little bit. But is it better for an offensive line to just stay in the position you're going to play while we wait for the injured guys to heal back up? But you're running your position, or is it better to move around? I want to hear what John has to say about that, but there's a decision to be made.
That's good. It's a good question. I'm not sure. I just think that I think that they've just got 1A, 1B, and 1C. Like, this is what ideally is going to look like. But if he's out, he slides, he comes in, that's 1B. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'll tell you this too with Nolan Hay. I mean, just to give some props here to back it up. He performed really well last year at South Carolina, 112 snaps. I mean, I know he came from Incarnate Word, but
he got hurt.
He was a great pass blocker
Injury.
and a decent run blocker. So he is. I'm not surprised to hear him pushing.
Well, it's no different, guys. I mean, Phil, we've mentioned that. I mentioned it with Coach Beamer the other day when we were talking to him on Monday morning. On the defensive side of the football, I mean, I think the lights come on in the last week, but it took way too long for people to be like, oh yeah, Judge Collier's pretty good.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, I forgot he was an all SEC guy in 2024, and of course Shane's like, I think we have 2 of the best corners in the league in Vicari and Judge. And these guys have played really, really well. So same, you think about the guys who've kind of been forgotten a little bit. It's not guys who haven't actually performed in the uniform. Judge has performed and he's played well. Mazio has performed and he's played well. Nolan Hay has performed and he's played well, right?
I mean, to put it in perspective, I'm looking at his PFF numbers here. Just the Clemson game on Hay, he played 61 snaps. He got a 73.9 offensive blocking grade, 71.6 on run, and 76.9 on pass block. And those are elite numbers. So, I mean, he just needs to be in the lineup somewhere, I think.
That's a good point.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because you get a guy on both sides of the ball here, like not including Hay, who was one of the better performing guys on that offensive line. But you got Mazio Bennett, who essentially, for whatever reason, was not having a good sophomore season last year. And then Judge Collier, who you just mentioned, is a guy that we all know can play good football at a high level, right? So, but both, one derailed by injury, one by whatever, and now they're both coming back, and you're like, well, it's like Mazio's not the forgotten about man because he's in that wide receiver room that everybody's been talking about. But Collier is one of those guys that I think is not getting enough run in the preseason, at least from a talk perspective. I mean, you're hearing it here a little bit, but I mean, and Coach Beamer's like, yeah, Swain and Collier are going to be our starting corners. But there's a reason for that, right? Even though it's like, well, we didn't really see him that much last year. Yeah, but I mean, the year before that, my man was making some serious plays in that 2024 defense.
Yeah. Forgive me if I choose to not overlook the senior secondary member from Rock Hill, South Carolina. We've just seen it around here far too often.
Can't sleep on that guy, man.
Yeah.
30+ inch vert. Okay, I'll take him.
Well, I know. And I mean, and you just look, it just can never be understated how valuable Torian Gray is to South Carolina football. And this guy is beyond special. You see the comments sometimes like, just give him a blank check. Give him a blank check. Bro, they've already done that. They elevated him to, defensive coordinator. I mean, he's, like Shane did that last year. He didn't need to hear it from the peanut gallery or social media or anybody like that. He knew, like there's a phone call or 10 every year. Hey, Torian, you interested in coming to the NFL, or you interested in coming to Texas, or wherever? No, I'm good. So they put their best foot forward to keep him here. But the one thing that I think that you can count on every year with this cat, think about how he recruits. JC is, I wish he had a clock because he knew how to be on time. He would be able to chime in on this. When somebody commits to play football at South Carolina in the secondary, JC is really good at saying that is a Torian Gray guy, and here's why. Explaining the length, the arms, or the, whatever it is that he does well. And then what ends up working out? You end up seeing that kid play, and you're like, damn, that fits Torian Gray. Because he's been around here a while now. He's able to kind of recruit the guys he wants to recruit to the positions he wants to recruit them to, and teach them how to play, and they go out there and play, and then they end up being pretty good. So, like, there's a method to the madness. We're sitting here talking about the concern level of kids behind the guys who are going to start, right? And Shane's concerned not because of talent or depth. He's concerned because of experience. The way that I look at that, it's a glass half full, and you could argue it's kind of a garnet glasses way to look at it, and I totally understand that. But I'm just trying to think, like, from a coach's lens, if your standard is here and your concern level is also here, that's better than being here. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the standard. We were talking about this with the kickers the other day. Like, Shane Beamer is like, he kind of phrased it a little bit differently with us. Oh, they're all kicking well. But nobody stepped up to take the job, but they're all kicking well.
Yeah, nobody's separated, right? Yeah. And that's what it's about.
We hadn't really heard it like that, but like those are two positions that I personally am willing to give the benefit of the doubt to, because they know what they're looking at.
Right.
So they're seeing it a little. I mean, it's the same with this show. Like, there's a lot of goofy shows that go on out there, and they think that they're magical. And we look at it and I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, our standard's pretty high. If you want to come join our party, this is what you're going to have to do. Not trying to stir up anything, but you know what I'm saying. There's a lot that goes into it. You don't just get to just flick on a camera.
At least until noon.
Yeah, at noon, anything kind of flies. The ratings go down. The FCC's calling. Like, so, like, when you raise your standard.
And I'll say too, when you talk about raising that standard, JB, and just the ability for, if there are injuries, if there's something happens in the secondary, Torian Gray always has a young player that can step in and play. So it might take a couple weeks. You don't develop in week one, but you'll just never be surprised with touring when it comes to that kind of thing. Getting a guy like Koski Barnes ready or Tristan. I mean, heck, DeMarcus Leach. I mean, all those guys can play. They're just probably a step below the two guys that are starting, and that happens in sports.
Yeah. DeMarcus Leach hails from Abbeville, South Carolina. So I'll take DeMarcus Leach. Football players from Abbeville, I'm a big fan of. That would be referred to as God's country. Any of you that know Brandon Newell, the great Brandon Newell? That's who turned me on to Abbeville, South Carolina is God's country. We are powered by Electric Bikes of Charleston, electricbikescharleston.com. Love those folks. Michelle is amazing. Just an amazing family. And can't thank them enough for getting people out and active and about in this state. People shop there from everywhere, which is awesome. If you're going to invest in one, they're not cheap. It's not like you're buying a Huffy at Walmart. I mean, you're going to go get something neat. And if you're going to go get something neat, get it from someone who's going to take care of you forever. Electric Bikes of Charleston, electricbikescharleston.com. So, okay, we do have some breaking news here. It looks like the 10th Circuit has granted the NCAA's stay request, which means the class of 22 has lost its federal fifth season protection, and the legal battle will continue. So that means that all of those who thought that they were just going to come back in and play football for a fifth year, looks like that's not going to be the case right now. So we'll try to dig up a little bit more on this. For anybody wondering why South Carolina didn't go this route, that's why. That's part of the reason. I've talked to them about this. They weren't interested really in getting into the back and forth and then having some kid come in and be competing with a guy who's been competing for 8 months to play that spot. They didn't want to mess with the mojo. And obviously there is no mojo right now because this legal battle is just a train wreck. So that is a little bit of news. We'll follow up on that as we can. It's 11:28. John Strickland's ahead. We'll be right back.
If you own a home, don't wait on these home safety tips. Flush your water heater, clean your dryer vent, and inspect your roof annually. Don't forget to check washer hoses and caulk in wet areas. Visit RestoProsMidlandsSC.com.
The road to success, well, it isn't always a straight one. I tell my kids every day before dropping them off at school, don't take this for granted. Tuition assistance from the South Carolina Education Lottery helped me go back to school when I needed to make a change. And I'm so grateful because now I am where I'm supposed to be.
Better opportunities means a better South Carolina, and a better South Carolina means a better you.
Do you carry? Carry responsibly with us. What could you lose from a Self-Defense Act? Visit protectwithbear.com to find out more. protectwithbear.com.
Troy Branham of Golden Gate Mortgage can help you save big today anywhere in South Carolina. Over 27 years experience. Visit ggmortgage.com. Troy Branham of Golden Gate Mortgage says go Gamecocks.
Dry Space Crawl Space Solutions are your local home protection experts. Crawl space encapsulation, sump pump and drain installs, humidity control, duct cleaning, basement waterproofing, concrete leveling, and French drains. We do it all. Visit dryspacecs.com. dryspacecs.com. Go Gamecocks.
If you have experienced water damage, storm damage, fire or smoke damage, or need mold remediation, you need Resto Pros of the Midlands. Visit RestoProsMidlandsSC.com and go Gamecocks.
Subscribe to FourQuarterFriday.com. High school sports coverage in South Carolina. Part of Rivals on 3. And the Chief Sports Network. You're tuned into Inside the Gamecocks, presented by the West Law Firm and Resto Pros of the Midlands. Part of the Chief Sports Network. Go Gamecocks!
Welcome back. Palm Casual presents our coverage of Carolina football, all the best outdoor patio furniture that you can find. There he is. There he is. Not Jebediah. John Strickland is back on a Friday to talk about the Gamecocks. Proud alumni of the program, proud owner of 5 Point Social, proud American. What else are you proud of, John? Proud bourbon collector?
Sure, why not? We got enough of it.
I know you do. Hey, Jebediah.
Greetings, my friends.
Yeah, I see you.
Just been out there
JC's
churning
got the Amish beard.
churning some butter, dude.
Yeah.
That's what took him so long, JB. He rode his horse in.
Oh.
I did. The horse and buggy. I had to my horse's name is Arthur. It's a very Amish name. Arthur.
Well, I just figured that, you usually
Any wives?
No.
No, I got confused, actually. I thought Raphael was this hour, and he's not. Because I was like, so I just popped it on. I saw, it's just you guys, and I was like, I better get my butt on there.
Yeah.
It was a central time zone thing for me today. I ended up getting confused. But I had a late night last night because for the first time in 22 years, I was up shuffling high school football scores on something. So
yeah,
forgive me.
I know high school football is back, and it was a good night last night. Tonight's going to be another good night. John, you're not going to any high school game. You going to, or no, Mangus, they played last night. I think they got beat. They did get beat.
Yeah, and then Hammond played last night. They beat Brooklyn Casey.
Yeah.
Hammond's pretty stacked up this year, boys. They'll probably win another state title.
Yeah. Brooklyn Casey had some really cool stuff. They faked a punt, and then they had another play. They had a defensive. They had they're at a disadvantage when they play Hammond.
Yeah,
talent wise, but they hung in there. GA Mangus coaches for them. So
John, didn't I didn't get around to this. I actually forgot until you just said it now. Didn't I see John Wheeler last Saturday?
You did.
Okay. All right. Because I saw him and I was making my way over to that corner, and then I never got there, and then I never thought about it again. So he wasn't there very long, was he?
He was there about 2 hours.
But he had been there before our buddy.
Oh yeah. Well before you got there.
Of course. Yeah. Thanks, Michael.
Typical.
Forgets his kids' birthdays. He's flying to Kansas, forgets to train kids in football, forgets what time the party starts. I'm surprised he remembers to actually go to work. Well, John never forgets us. He's always here and always fantastic. So, Strick, look, tomorrow's a big day, right? Walk us through a typical second scrimmage. What would that look like? Do you think South Carolina is going to roll out the guys that they feel like they would go with in game one?
Yeah, they will. You'll have your 1s and 2s and 3s, and everybody will be honestly competing, to earn a starting spot. I mean, there's a lot of close battles. I've already told y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's 3 spots on the O-line that are up for grabs.
Yep.
I think running back, we're pretty set just from my eye test.
So did you got out to practice this week?
Yep.
What do you mind sharing what you feel like you saw up front, just starting there?
Yeah, I thought the O-line looked good.
Okay.
No, it's all right. Tell you what, I was impressed with Gray. I can tell you that, pass pro. He was working tackles like no secret. Everybody knows he's been working that tackle all fall camp. So, you know, he looked really good out there. And then I was standing with Travell Wharton, and me and him were talking. I was like, yeah, you know, that's it's the true freshman, Darius Gray. And we were all pretty impressed. But no, I thought they did some good things. You know, it's tough for the offense this time in camp because the defense kind of has your number. You know, they know what you're doing. They know the calls and all that. So I would say the defense won practice, but I thought the offense did a lot of good things. I thought Mazio Bennett had a fantastic practice. He looked really good out there. Man, Fuller running that ball, man, he looks good. He hits that hole so quick. Running back, all the running backs look good, honestly. But Fuller just kind of stuck out. He looked really good. So super excited for him this season. All in all, I mean, it was fun to be out there. There's definitely some battles on the offensive line. I'm not going to give much away. There's some position battles though on who's going to be the starting five, and basically what this last scrimmage will do. You know, you'll watch the film, coaches will grade it out and go over it, and you'll kind of have, because you start installs this week for game week, and or this coming week. So that's what this scrimmage is so big, because it's going to determine kind of who your first 11 you're putting out there to start the game.
All right. I want to ask you about cross training. We talked to Coach this week, and obviously we've had some, you know, for the last few weeks, some intel out there up front with the linemen. Coach mentioned, hey, look, you want to cross train your secondary, you want to cross train your offensive linemen. At least that's what he was talking about here at South Carolina. I don't know what happens at other programs, but specifically on the offensive line, let's talk about a guy like Shed Surratt, for instance. Strick, you watched him play last year as a true freshman. Had a pretty good year. Expected to have, you know, another good one as a sophomore. We know he can play on the inside at guard. We've seen him play right tackle. He's played some left tackle. Can you speak to that? The challenges of cross training a kid like, not just Surratt, but I know Nolan Hay is a guy who's worked at center and guard. Maybe there's some similarities there, but kind of walk us through that and why that is important for an offense like this.
Well, I'll just take you back to my experience. I mean, my redshirt freshman year, I was a backup guard and center, but in springtime they had me playing right tackle just to throw it on me and put it out there. So you want to have your best guys that you trust to put in a game if somebody goes down, knowing all the positions. Let's just say Nolan Hay is at left guard and Carter Miller's at center, and Miller has to go out, right? As well, you want to be able to move Nolan Hay over to center, and then you want to be able to have a guard to plug, or, you know, a Darius Gray. You know, if something happens at tackle and that's your guy for that third guy that come in at tackle, you want him to be able to play right and left tackle, and you like him to play guard. So I think it's super important to have multiple skill sets at different positions, because they're all a little bit different. If you're a backup center, I mean, you better know assignments and calls that need to be done. So that's super important too. It's playing center versus playing guard. I mean, it's different. It's a little bit different. So I think it's very important for all these guys to kind of, you know, play in different spots in practice just to kind of understand it. And you know what that does too? If you say you're out here at right tackle and you get some work out there, but you're playing at right guard, you understand more of what that guy has to do on his assignment. And it makes it easier for all the guys to gel on double team blocks, working up the linebackers. I mean, I think it's just a big help. It gives you more knowledge of what you're doing to be cohesive as one.
Well, you mentioned Matt Fuller, the returns on Matt Fuller since the spring, starting with the comments that his head coach made right here on our program, or basically that he is he's primed for a big year. I know that Stan Drayton has downplayed a lot of that. No, they're all working. They're all in the mix. They're all doing really well, and I know that coach has said that himself too. We want to have guys separated, et cetera, et cetera. But I mean, Strick, between JC and myself here, Matt, I'm not going to speak for you, but I can speak for JC and I. We've probably had, a dozen or more sets of eyeballs who have watched him perform, who we trust, who say the kid just looks really, really, really good. And you obviously are expressing the same thing. So why are you saying that?
I mean, listen, if you know football and you go out to practice and you watch somebody and one guy just he just looks the part. He's hitting the holes fast, making the moves where he needs to make them. That's what I love about him. I mean, you just go back and look at the LSU touchdown last year. He hits and pops through that hole so fast. I mean, he's just downhill. Boom. He's gone before even the safety or linebacker has a chance to react. And that's what you want. You don't want somebody that's dancing around a lot. Well, he just has a nose to hit the hole and be gone. And I saw it out of practice this week. So I think Fuller's just having a great camp. I mean, his hand is a little banged up.
Yeah.
I think everybody knows that because he was, I've seen a lot of reports. Hey, he's in a no contact jersey. Is he even practicing or whatever?
Okay.
And all this.
He's all right.
Yeah, he's fine. But he has that look to him, and the way he runs is just violent. He's hitting things full speed, and I was just super impressed. But like I said, all the running backs look really good. So I know a lot of people got South Carolina's running back room ranked dead last in the league. I've seen some of this preseason stuff, but that's just because all the experience we've had over the past couple of years, all those guys are gone. So you got kind of some unknown names that haven't really done much yet. So I expect a big year from the running back room.
Yeah. All right. So Fuller in high school, and is Jessup down there? Is that middle South Georgia?
That's more towards the west side of Georgia. It's closer to like Brunswick.
Oh, okay. Okay, that side. All right, Jessup. Well, that's he played for J-Bo Shaw down there. That's one of the things I liked about him because he's kind of a bigger back at the high school level, and he hit the hole hard. Last year sometimes, and maybe it's because of the way they used him or always being coached, they, or maybe they're wanting a hole. Sometimes it wasn't there, but when he did like that run, that run against LSU was like he shot out of a cannon. So I think he's kind of becoming the back we expected. He's in much better shape than he was.
I mean, I've loved him since a freshman, JC. I mean, he got out there. I mean,
in the Akron game, he was one of the few guys that would because that was the game Rocket was out. He would fall forward. I guess the third team line was in there and they couldn't block. But he would fall forward and get yards, and I thought that was important. It reminded me of a guy one of those backs that played for LSU way back when, Saban era, Ali Broussard, in a lot of ways. Maybe Joseph Adai a little bit. Strick, you played against that LSU team in 2003. Remember they had those three backs? They were all really good.
Yep.
They kind of reminded me of that. You mentioned Mazio Bennett. Talk to me a little bit about some specifics because I dove into him this morning on coffee. Like, what's he doing as a player that stands out to you out there? We know he's a leader. We know he's competitive. We know all that. But, talk to us about kind of his game and how you kind of see him, being used and what he can do on a football field.
Well, he caught several passes right in front of me, and I was right there on the sideline of practice. We were just watching him run a route. They're so crisp, clean, getting out of his breaks. I mean, threw our DBs off a little bit. He was running such nice routes and just, boom, sitting in that hole and catching the ball and then turning up and getting upfield. I mean, he's just looked really good, and everybody I've talked to says he's just having a hell of a camp. So I'm going to be honest with you, even if Sellers was still around, I think it's going to be hard to beat out Mazio. I think he's just had a hell of a camp, and you add the leadership. Like I there was one deep ball that went down, and I think Peyton Williams kind of broke it up to Harbor, and then guess who goes running down the field? All the way down the field, 60 yards. Goes down there, pats Harbor on the back, he's just being that guy. He's being that leader. He's being that leader that I felt like we lacked last year in all these close losses. And that's what I just saw out of him the whole practice.
That's one thing about – no, sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead, because I think you're about to say, kind of my point I'm getting to.
That's the thing about him. In high school, that dude, there were very few football players in the state of South Carolina that competitive. And it helped him at receiver, too, because he'd just go up and fight people for the ball. I mean, like Demir Bird taking it from Bakari Rambo type of fight every single time. I think that helped him as a freshman, too, have some success. He's a little fearless. I mean, there are receivers that would have dropped that pass at Alabama, as wide open as he was, that were freshmen. And,
yeah, because you get to thinking.
Yeah.
You're like that wide open. You kind of get.
Completed the mission. So.
Oh, no, don't drop it.
Yeah.
Don't drop it.
Featherstone,
Yeah.
But I like that about him. I don't know what happened last year.
Look,
I think there's probably a combo of things. I don't care. I'm just glad he's back. And being the Mazio Bennett everybody thought he would be when he came here, right?
I want John to talk about that, because last weekend before I saw you, John, I was able to talk to a couple of people who are tight with Mazio, and it was exactly what we had already heard. Things just piled up, man. He's a college athlete, and it was a tough year. It was a tough year on the field, and he was frustrated, like a lot of people were. And that happens. It happens in life. It happens when we work. We're parents. All those type things. You've been there. You've been in that uniform at South Carolina. You've seen plenty of guys who people are like, well, what happened to him? Did he get in trouble? No, he didn't get in trouble. It was just rough. And credit to him, because he was like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to turn this around, and you'll see when we get back on the field next year.
What I've noticed from him versus last year, especially from his freshman year, because I was out of practice on last year and, went to spring this year and then been out of camp. I mean, he's just become that all-around player you want out on the field.
Yeah.
From a leadership standpoint, that workman-like mentality. The guy's 100%, no plays off. And then just doing what the coaches ask you to do. I saw all of that literally in one practice. I saw all of that from him, because I watched him, just knowing other guys that got hurt. I was like, well, Mazio's got to step up. And sure enough, man, he's out there. You could tell he was just the leader of that receiving corps. I mean, he just was. He was that guy. And just the way he's playing out there at practice, I was impressed. So, that's what we need on this team. We need some older veterans, because he's an older guy now. He's a junior, third year.
Yeah.
It's time to, shit or get off the pot. I mean, it is. You won't, but I love it. I love it from Mazio, and I think he's doing a great job. So, I can just see the leadership of this team, even in practice. It's different. So hopefully that translates into more wins this fall.
Yeah, obviously Lenore Sellers, the whole world has 16 circled as being the driver of success for.
By the way, I want to bring something up before we get in this.
Yeah.
So everybody's like, oh, Lenore Sellers, he needs 3 credits or 6 credits and his internship.
Oh, I know.
I just want to clear the record for everybody.
Crazy.
So I did my internship during the summer. I could have done it during the fall. I purposely had only 6 credits I needed to graduate. Well, I purposely did it that way. I could have graduated in the summer. Then I would have had to take a full 12-hour load. And I purposely spread it out. So my senior year only had 6 credits needed for graduation in December.
Mm-hmm.
So I basically had class for 3 hours total on Tuesday and 3 hours total on Thursday. That was it. That's all I had my entire senior year. So kudos to Lenore's taking a page out of my book. That's the way you do it.
Dude, this is the biggest nothing burger I've ever seen.
I know, it's so weird.
Matt and I were talking about this earlier. Like, how did this get to? Does anybody really think he's the first athlete ever to just take a part-time?
Oh, this has been going on
season?
forever.
He's not, dude. It happens all the time.
And I purposely did it. I could have graduated during the summer, and I chose not to because I wanted the least amount of school and the easiest things that, to put all my focus on football.
Yeah.
And,
Exactly.
Well, I don't even know how you come up intellectually with why that would be a problem for anybody. And was it even Gamecock fans, or was it other fans?
It's the nation. It's the nation. It's all over.
Oh well, there's a lot of college football. I guess you call them influencers, and I mean, I don't know, but on Instagram, Bleacher Report, boy, that was high quality content there. They're just trying to make, he's at a golf course, and it's like. That's one of the biggest ooh-wee. I mean, are people really that dumb?
They are, because you've seen some people talking about, oh yeah, that can't be legal to only have that during a football season. What? Well, then obviously you don't know what the hell you're talking about. So you got all these people who think they know it all, which is typical. I mean, that's social media. That's why I don't even reply to anybody's comments or anything. I don't blame you. I just laugh.
Yeah, it's these are people that quote unquote cover the sport of college football, and they literally have no idea what they're talking. It should just go to show you, if you're listening to that, you're listening to the wrong crap. It was embarrassing how much traction they got. I didn't even think about it until I started seeing it. I'm like, why are people?
I saw it pop up. What? Who cares? I didn't even just click on it. I did the same thing my senior year. I mean, I just worked all the time.
Bro, my senior year of high school, I had 3 hours of school. We went in at 10:20 and we were out by 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
I mean,
Phil's daughter gets home at noon every day in high school. I mean, my stepson he took weightlifting and golf.
Yeah.
After 2 classes. I mean, and so you're either saying Lenore Sellers isn't really going to school, which is stupid because if he's 3 hours away from a degree, obviously he's ahead academically, right? Or you're saying, I mean, I don't even know what else you're saying, and then half the people that I saw that had a problem with, if you scroll back on their timeline on X, they're also the ones that believe that they're entitled to injury information in every detail because these guys get paid. So which is it?
Yeah.
So you not only want access to all their health care information and all their personal information because they get paid, because you give $5 a month to the collective, right?
Yeah.
But you also demand that they take more than 3 hours when you are completely ignorant of not just student athletes, but students in general.
How it works. Yeah.
I mean, some people really need to get log off.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't even know if it's Gamecock fans. But I think it was
definitely not Gamecock fans.
It was a fan of another
all
school.
the haters. I mean, I'm sure it's a bunch of taters.
There's some disguised, but I scrolled back. I think it was a Tennessee fan or something. But just destroying one of their players for I don't know, man. So anyway, that's
well, before we got going on Lenore, I just want to bring that up. Now we can go back to that.
I have no idea what we were talking about.
Well, you were going to ask about, maybe you were bringing that up. Maybe you weren't. I don't know.
Strick, I got a question for you.
Because I meant to leave the show with that, and I just completely forgot. And then when you said 16, I was like, hold on, let's talk about this. Well, go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, Strick, my question for you, buddy, is with the 3 positions on the offensive line that are up for grabs, and knowing that, when Jacarius Peak comes back, is it better for the players that are kind of locked into their position to just play that position the first 2 weeks of the season? Or is it better to be moving throughout the line? And you kind of touched on it, but just a more direct way of saying, if Shed Surratt's going to be the left guard, is it best for him to play left guard? I'm just picking a random name here, Strick, but you get where I'm going with this question?
Yeah, I get where you're going with it. That's a tough one to answer, because I know exactly what you're saying, because we know when Peak is ready to go, whether it's Towson, Mississippi State, whatever, who knows?
Yeah.
Obviously, we know where he's going to be playing, right? We know he's going in at left tackle. So, in a way, yes, I think I think you got two guys competing right now at that left tackle position, and I'm not going to tell y'all who it is. I'm not going to. Well, yeah, anyways.
I mean, we've
So I'm not gonna
reported
give
on a
stuff.
lot of it.
Okay, all right, good.
Yeah, you're good. We know Seth's been working over there, and
Yeah.
you're okay.
Okay,
Don't worry.
all right. So yeah, you got Seth Smith over there right now at the left tackle position, and that's you got to keep that guy in there. And honestly, I think Seth could be your third guy, or they may feel good about both tackles, and he's just going to be your backup left tackle when Pete gets back. So I think you kind of want everybody else to the positions they've been practicing at this past week and going into the scrimmage and into starting next week. I think you want those guys there. But early in camp, though, they kind of had guys moving around just to kind of fill things out. But I think you're so deep into camp now, and you're going into the final scrimmage kind of deal to where you're going to fill out a depth chart on Sunday. You're going to keep those guys where they're at.
I still think, in my opinion, I think Shed Surratt will be the left tackle till Pete gets back.
Could be.
Unless Seth Smith's just better. And then the other part of it is Beamer mentioned Surratt's been banged up. He and Purvis both. So, they're probably working Seth Smith there a little bit. Jamie heard that Smith had a pretty good summer from one of his guys.
I'll tell you this, Smith and Pass Pro, while I was out there, he looked damn good.
Do you like him? Yeah, I thought his stuff from Northern Arizona, he did pass. Good feet. He's a good athlete.
Yeah.
He's one of how many kids from Arizona do we have on the roster now? You got him and Clark and Armando Neves. Is it 3?
Yep.
That's
I think it's 11.
11 Arizonans. The Spencer Rattler Pied Piper effect, right? But no, and then I think it right. The kid from Ferris State, Dane Arnett,
kind of worked his way into it here.
Yeah, he's been kind of hanging out over there, a little bit. I think Darius Gray could play right tackle as well. I think Surratt could play right tackle. Surratt could play anything but center.
Yep, I agree with that.
He just got to stay healthy,
Yeah, Shed can play either guard or tackle.
Well, and I don't think they'll start Gray at first game, though. I just don't see that happening.
I don't see it either. Obviously, he can come out and ball out in the scrimmage and say, "Hey, well, this guy's ready to play." I'll tell you what, my man don't look like no freshman. I can tell you that. He's built like a junior.
Well, Coach Beamer, mentioned the other day, and I don't think he meant every single one of them, but just how many freshmen don't, and how many freshmen don't act like them either. I mean, and I think that we could pretty much. He didn't go through it name by name or anything like that, but I mean, it's not hard for us to kind of figure it out. I mean, we know that Darius, we know Julian Walker, Jazavian Currents. I mean, these guys. It's John. When you were a freshman, I'm trying to remember. There were very few. There certainly wasn't 3 or 4 on a South Carolina football team back then that they looked like they'd already been there for a year or two. It's changed a little bit, and the Gamecocks now have. I mean, these are blue chippers, right, JC? Didn't you do the blue chip stuff? I mean, these are blue chip guys.
Most of them, yeah. I mean, it's interesting because the secondary is shaping up to be a lot like, I mean, at least the corners, a lot like that team John was on in 2000, because you have 2 studs like Goodman and Brown. And I remember that year, John, behind those guys, it was Rasheem Monroe and Dante Robinson, and they were true freshmen.
Yep.
I mean, they were part of your class. And they'd walk out there for a down or two, and then they'd take them back off the field. You'd put
give them a little breather.
And then DeAndre Island actually, I think didn't Antoine
DeAndre started a lot of games.
Didn't Neesmith get hurt? One of the safeties got hurt because Willie offered Antoine Neesmith.
I don't know if
he was out. I know Island started. And he was a freshman. That was a pretty good secondary class John Gutekunst put together, really. So, but all these guys. It's great when your blue chippers hit. It's even better when a guy like Noah Clark, who opinions are mixed on, who's 350, and you automatically think, well, he's a top 170 guy, but probably has to reshape. And then he doesn't have to reshape because he's not even reshaped. He's just good.
He just moves.
He just moves like a cat, and that's even better. And when a guy like Tristan Lewis, who everybody thought was a backup because Tamarian Watkins left, and maybe he was, you beat Gardner Webb on him. And, one of the first feedback texts I got from the scrimmage in the spring was Tristan Lewis is a monster. Just this big physical South Carolina kid. He was listed at 6'4", 190. And you think he's tall and skinny. He's 6'2", 207. Causey Barnes was a blue chip. I mean, this class may end up being
pretty good.
Hit rate wise, but one of the better ones, percentage wise.
Yeah,
and I think that there's a deeper story to tell and sell with that. If you're Coach Beamer and Darren Usher, I've talked to Darren about this before. JC, I think he may have even mentioned it on our program at one point in time. Hey, look, we're really trying to sign 17, 20 guys a year. Like they kind of have it down to a science, and they're looking for the right guys. So, by just based on numbers, Strick, Matt, I mean, we all look at the numbers, right? If you're not signing 25, 26 guys, and you're signing 17, 18, 19, 20 guys, your recruiting class can only be ranked so high unless you literally are signing 10 5-star players. The numbers don't work out to be able to add that up.
Yeah.
But the guys that they're signing,
the real thing to look at.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, the real thing to look at is look at like the average ranking of the player and not like where you're ranked in the top 25. That whole top 25 recruiting class thing is so played out because some schools sign smaller classes now and then work the portal to their favor. Some schools sign 28 people and they got the 4th ranked highest class, but if you go and look at their overall composite average, it's lower than somebody that's 16th or 17th,
Yeah,
I don't get it.
We need to change that. Also, with the portal and stuff, I'd like to also see two rankings. I'd like to see the star rankings, which are projections for long-term ability, and then an impact ranking. In other words, it's the Jamie Robinson, Cam Smith thing. Jamie Robinson had more of an impact his first year at Carolina as a freshman because he was more ready. Cam Smith redshirted. But in the end, Cam Smith was the higher draft pick. It's floor ceiling kind of thing. I think fans have gotten a lot smarter, and because they dive into data and things like that. And I think we need to do that. And then with the portal, you would avoid, I call them the Lonely Hearts Club, because you have evaluators out there that fall in love with players and rank them super high. And then they're just bags of dung when they get to college, and they're never going to be any better because they weren't that good to begin with. And they don't want to be wrong. So they're like, well, yeah, he's still a 4-star transfer portal guy. That's how you have Mike Norvell at Florida State a couple of years ago. Because everybody's still in love with these guys. I'm still in love with you. You're still a star to me.
Did you call them bags of dung?
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to cut down on my S-word usage.
Thanks.
I mean, most of them too are like horrible people and horrible, like that receiver that demanded all that, the limo and all that to take him to practice at A&M, who caught 7 passes at Texas Tech.
There was
he got to A&M. Yeah, he got to A&M and he couldn't cut it. They didn't give him the limo, but they gave him some money. He got to A&M, couldn't cut it, went back to Texas Tech.
What kind of limo was it? Was it like Jim Carrey's limo or like an excursion? Or
that's what I would demand. I was like,
can you imagine like a Jimmy Clausen in the NIL era? Because didn't he take a limo for his signing, like his announcement? God.
He did, but his family was loaded. I went to his school one day out in California. I watched him throw for about an hour. It was really, really one of the better moments of my career. Just California, beautiful. I mean, it was beautiful. But his family was so loaded, they probably paid for it, So, I don't know. Anyway,
or it could be like the
party bus.
It could be
like
JC's wedding party bus. You mean?
That was amazing.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Put a stripper pole in it.
That's what make it worth your while.
What are we supposed to do with this thing? Dance on it? I'm not dancing on that.
Somebody did. We have video proof.
Yes, we do.
We're probably gonna get to that in a couple of months around here.
Oh God.
Yeah, that'd be a great promo.
there was a question in here. I actually wrote about this a couple of days ago, John, but I want to squeeze this in with you.
Yep.
It was about Nick. Has there been anything chatter-wise about the improvements? I wrote a couple of days ago what I was told by contacting the building. He's gone from trying to play wide receiver to playing wide receiver, and then the three things that have been specified to me are route running, hands, and just his general understanding of playing offense at this level. Again, that's what I've been told, but obviously you have you've seen it out there. So
yeah, Nick looked good. He looked good. Caught some balls. Looks like his blocking was good on some of the run plays, downfield blocking. So yeah, I mean, listen, this receiver room's deep, guys.
Yeah.
I know there's some unknowns, but I'm telling you, there's going to be a couple of names that are going to pop up and I think make some big plays for us this year in that wide receiver room. I'm super excited about them. I mean, listen, I hope we can put everything together. Give Lenore some time. I think this offense is going to help the O-line a lot just from what I saw at practice. It's going to help relieve a little pressure off of those guys instead of blocking for 57 minutes per pass fay.
57 minutes.
Yep. So I think that's going to be good. And then, man, the defense, well, knock on wood, but damn, feel good about them.
It's like, damn.
I think our four or five deep at D tackle, man, is damn good.
Well, if you folks would like to relieve some pressure of your own, you can head to 5 Points Social. It's a wonderful establishment, and you're not going to believe this, but 5 Points, and down on Hardin Street, and their chicken wings are real nice, Clark.
Yeah, we should start food. We're working on a few things in the kitchen. We should start officially serving food, hopefully by next weekend, and if not, going into game week, we'll officially start serving. But yeah, we're super pumped. It's a good place to go. If you're in your 30s or higher, it's a good place to go. On a weekday around 5 o'clock, hang out, have some drinks, and then kind of get out of there before the college kids start taking it over around 9:30, 10 o'clock, and on Saturdays and Sundays, we're going to have the NFL package come in there. We open at 11 a.m. Saturday, Sunday. Be a great place to watch football. I know all the out-of-town games that I'm not going to. We'll be at the bar, sitting on big leather couches and having some pours of whiskey and watching Carolina play. I think it's going to be a good spot for away games. I got one of my buddy's sons that I've known since he was young. He's a Sigma Nu. He told me, hey, man, away games, we're all coming there to watch the game. So it should be awesome. A great environment for game days when Carolina's playing out of town. And then the NFL Sundays should be great.
Well, that upstairs is sick, dude. Y'all can get some good shows up there, man. You can get like Eric Church, Madonna. You can get whoever you want up there.
And we got some good DJs. We got some good DJs planned.
Oh, DJs.
Well, we're going to do live music too, but the DJs should be pretty lit.
I enjoyed listening to Mary English up there. She's fantastic.
Yeah, she did great.
She's wonderful.
Great job.
All right, any parting shots here, Mr. Strickland?
No, man. It's the weekend. I still got some work to do. I'm going to try and get done as soon as I can, though, so I can maybe relax.
Okay.
Well, maybe hit the pool this weekend. I think, dude, tomorrow around here is supposed to be nice. It's supposed to be like 88 degrees with a low of 72, and I'm like, yes.
Nice. Yeah, next weekend, too, is looking good.
Thank God.
Love it. I hope game weekend's looking good. 12:45 game. Luckily, I sit in the club level and have shade over me, but holy shit.
I know.
God. I didn't mind it as a player. I mean, we were used to it because we practice out in the heat, and we're ready to go play a football game. But as a fan, man, sitting in the sun, I'll never forget that damn North Carolina game. Y'all remember that? Back
13.
in 2013.
Oh, that was awful.
It was hotter than you know what, and
we won the game at least.
Yeah.
I know.
We were in the upper deck for that. I felt like I was sitting on the sun.
I sit in the shade too, but it it still gets warm, but it's made it easier to bring the kids. That's for sure. But I'm with you, man. A lot of people forget how hot it was when Carolina beat number 1 Alabama. It was 95 degrees that day, but nobody remembers that because Carolina won the game.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? Who cares? Isn't that what Todd said? I talked to Todd for a little bit. Gosh, I don't even know if I should say this. Actually, I'll be quiet. Well, no, I don't think Todd would care. Todd was out there. We were out there at practice. He's like, Strick, man, I got to learn some names. Learn how to say them. Make sure I don't screw them up this year. Because, we got a few guys that got some tricky names to pronounce.
A couple.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Todd was like, man, I gotta figure out these names, Strick.
He just needs to, turn it over to Cotton. Back to you, Cotton. Who was on the tackle there, Cotton? I have no idea.
We have fun out of practice. I mean, I got this Travell. It was me, Brewer, Travell, DeMarco, Cody Gibson, Mason Zandy, Darren Stewart, Fran Person. So we had to get a little representation out there of some of us old guys. And then, of course, Todd was out there. Todd's out there with his notes like, all right, making sure he's got it all right.
Yep.
Because it's almost go time for Todd now.
That's right. What, next Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Backstreets.
Yeah.
Backstreets, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good luck finding a finer human being on earth than Fran Person. Literally the nicest guy ever.
Yeah, Fran's a good dude.
He's always smiling. Asks you a question, listens to what you're saying. Him and Crystal are awesome. John, you're pretty awesome too, and so is Chrissy, your bride. Who's amazing. The real owner of that place. She's walking around with her little hat on, in charge.
Oh, I know Chrissy.
Yeah.
Chrissy's very fun to hang out with.
Yeah.
It's very, very
good time, Sally.
It's the only person. Yeah, she can. Can't wait to see you guys again, man.
Gonna get out of here on that note. Strick, have a great weekend, brother. Appreciate you as always.
Yeah, man.
All right, guys. Catch y'all later.
See you, man. I'm going to dip out, too. Appreciate Esparza for joining us. And the great king of late night, Matt Anderson. And I appreciate you two goobers as well. Matt, you only have to do 47 minutes without John and myself. Best of luck to all those who will kick off their high school football seasons tonight. Congratulations and welcome back, high school football. And congratulations to all who won their season openers last night across the state and wherever else you may have been playing. Four-quarter Friday, you can follow it all there as well. Gentlemen, have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you on Monday.
If you own a home, don't wait on these home safety tips. Flush your water heater, clean your dryer vent, and inspect your roof annually. Don't forget to check washer hoses and caulk in wet areas. Visit RestoProsMidlandsSC.com.
A really common fear in a workman's compensation case is what's going to happen to my job if I report this injury? And my answer to that is you still need to report your injury. I'm dealing directly with the insurance company, and the insurance company is going to treat you like a file number. So let me make sure that doesn't happen to you. Let me get involved in your workman's compensation case.
Ryan Brewer Fence offers a variety of services ranging from fences and railings to columns. Our craftsmanship, experience, and service is second to none. Visit ryanbrewer.net today.
Why are you throwing all that money over the falls?
If you're buying a Honda or Toyota, that's exactly what you're doing. Look at the Kia Sorento. Get a third-row SUV for $8,000 less than the Highlander. Toyota only has a 5-year warranty. JT's Kia has a 1,000,000-mile warranty.
Don't forget JT's Advantage Package. Oil changes, roadside assistance, and so much more.
Choosing a Sorento over a Highlander is a no-brainer. More features, better warranty, and you save over $8,000.
We're serious about saving you money.
Killian Road, I-77, or Greystone Boulevard.
JT's Kia.
Is this your golf game? It doesn't have to be. Visit McKellarEnterprises.org and improve your game today.
Do you carry? Carry responsibly with us. What could you lose from a self-defense act? Visit protectwithbear.com to find out more. Protectwithbear.com.
Join thebigspur.com and Gamecock Central today for the best Gamecock coverage in South Carolina. Proud partners of On3.
Whether it's fireside or poolside, if it's time to watch the Gamecocks, Palm Casual will make your outdoor space the best it can be. Visit palmcasual.com and come see us at one of our South Carolina locations. Go Gamecocks!
Why are you throwing all that money over the falls?
If you're buying a Honda or Toyota, that's exactly what you're doing. Look at the Kia Sorento. Get a third-row SUV for $8,000 less than the Highlander. Toyota only has a 5-year warranty. JT's Kia has a 1,000,000-mile warranty.
Don't forget JT's Advantage package. Oil changes, roadside assistance, and so much more.
Choosing a Sorento over a Highlander is a no-brainer. More features, better warranty, and you save over $8,000.
We're serious about saving you money.
Killian Road, I-77, or Greystone Boulevard.
JT's Kia.
Shopping at Gamecock Traditions is easy. Just pick up your phone. Type in GamecockTraditions.com. Select your items and purchase. They will ship it to your doorstep. GamecockTraditions.com.
The Aventon Adventure 2 takes the same basic design as the original Aventon Adventure, making it an adventure bike designed to take you places that typical roads just don't reach, allowing you to ride whatever terrain you want based on your whims of the day. Look at what you're getting. Hydraulic disc brakes, torque sensor for responsive pedal assist, great LED lighting, suspension, a beautifully welded frame with excellent build quality, included rear rack, included fenders. The list just keeps going on.
Visit electricbikescharleston.com for more.
Sell your quality sports and fitness equipment to Play It Again Sports and get paid. Recycling your in-demand sports gear keeps it available in your community. Sell, buy, trade, and win with Play It Again Sports.
If you need a new fence, railings, even new columns, there is only one call in South Carolina. Gamecock great, Ryan Brewer. Over 15 years in the industry. Visit ryanbrewer.net today.
Watch JC and Morgan every week on the Chief Sports Network. Now back to ITG.
Clowns are people too. Clowns are people too. Now I own some tiny horns and got me those red shoes. I don't know much, but know one thing that's true. If you don't know anything, just know that clowns are people too.
Now back to the clowns on the Chief Sports Network.
Welcome in, everybody. It is Inside the Gamecocks, the show. It is Friday. I am Mad Dog. He is JC. And, of course, it is the late-night Gamecock, Matt Anderson. We are all in. Had a great discussion there. Ran a little long with Strick at the end of the morning show. But no worries, no worries. Good to have Strick's perspective in, and always a good time with him. High school football has kicked off. Check it out. It's been fun keeping up with things on our friends over there at Four Quarter Fridays live blog. I know somebody has been working long into the night to make that happen.
Yeah, we've all been rocking that.
That's right. It's been good. I'll actually be out at a football game tonight. Not a marquee one, but I'll fill everybody in. I'll tweet it. I'll be down at Malden, which is my wife's home school.
Who are the Mavericks playing?
So it is Christ Church at Malden tonight to kick off the Mavericks season. So
actually, Phil, Christ Church has a 2028 running back, Michael Martin.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah,
Georgia and some other people have been looking at him. Yeah, he's kind of a smaller back, looks pretty good. Yeah, Malden was always one of those schools that was not very good.
No, it's like, because they've got Hillcrest right down the road too. So that is kind of.
When I came up, Hillcrest was not very good either.
No, neither was very good when I was coming up either. It was
Greenville County in general was. Remember when Berea used to be really good at football?
Berea they had a run
They were
there.
going.
They were good.
They had a running back that went to Clemson named Anthony Downs that was really good. And Jermel Kelly, who played at Carolina, was Berea. But changing demographics, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Matt Anderson's in with us today, McKellar Enterprises chat box, because we're going to wrap it up in style. Had some questions. Thanks to Strick for coming on. That's always good. Deputy Smitty, who's becoming a staple around here, Phil.
Love it.
I mean, this is huge for us.
He's starting having Smitty on, like, hey,
have him on a little.
I'll be in touch with you, Smitty. See if we can't work something out. Maybe a weekly appearance.
Or at least bi-weekly or something. Anyway, Deputy Smitty says, I'm assuming left, but what tackle spot's Gray working at? He's working at right primarily, and then Surratt, since the spring, has been at left, and then he also works at right. I think if you want my opinion based on kind of the journey since the spring and what I think is going to happen, because I don't know, when guys are banged up and they have to miss practice or whatever, and maybe they fall behind a little bit. It's not necessarily that, they don't, that they're kind of plugging and playing, right? But I think assuming everyone's healthy and when Pete gets back, because obviously Kent, State, he's not going to be ready to go or is not expected to be. I think it's going to be Peak at left. I think left guard is fascinating right now because I think there's three options there. I don't know. By Kent State, I would still say leader in the clubhouse would be Hank Purvis. I don't know that they won't start Nolan Hay there because he's kind of working both spots. I don't know that if Darius Gray can be their best right tackle and one of their top five. I think Darius at tackle is probably, if he can play it, it sounds weird. Wait a minute. Tackle's supposed to be the harder position, better athlete stuff. I think inside sometimes when you're that young is a little bit harder to adjust to than tackle. And he's athletic enough and he has very long arms and all that. So if he's you can slide Shed back inside at left guard where he played 9 games last year or not, or if Shed's the starting left tackle and it's not Darius Gray at right, it could be Dane Arnett from Ferris State. Seth Smith has been working primarily at left, but he could play right, so there's a lot of options there to kind of figure out this weekend, like Strickland said, but Shed, I would think just because he's one of the best offensive linemen if Peak's out as far as being proven and stuff. Here, I could see Shed getting the start at left tackle, but man, Seth Smith is older. He's a 6-year guy. If he's improved, which we heard he did over the summer, I mean, you could see that too. I mean, it's like every other position. There's more depth and more quality options. I don't know that there's as many quality options on the offensive line as maybe they hope or they want. Not hope, but want. But there's a lot of quality options, and so if you don't perform, they're going to try the next guy.
Well, it's one of the things that I mentioned Sunday night, JC, on Late Night Gamecock show. We kind of did our predictions, not season predictions game by game, but just predictions on the season as a whole. And I'm looking at this right now, and I would not be surprised if you saw 4 or 5 different starting offensive lines by the time the Gamecocks hit their bye week. Because you're going to have at least one change when Pete comes back, and they're going to be moving players around, trying to find the best spot in the meantime. So I think, it'd be great if they could get this thing solved going into week 1, but there's still so many moving pieces that it's just not going to be done.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like the depth chart will ultimately come out, right? And it'll be picked through and combed through with a fine-tooth comb. Is there any reason that you feel like there would be a cause for concern if in the inevitable ors that you see scattered through there are starters at other positions underneath, because there's so much that's been made of, and I think it gets a negative rap around here in cross training, right? And that it was like, oh no, cross training means you don't have guys, that's not deep enough. But should we have cause for concern? And what I'm kind of expecting to be a lot of repeated names at different positions?
No. Because Matt's checked out. We need to make sure that on StreamYard, just Phil, that he's got his external mic connected.
Yeah, something tells me he's got a bad mic cord, and that's why it goes in.
Well, it's a new computer. It's a PC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe
So, those things sometimes are hard. Anyway, we're fixing Matt's audio. If not, he'll just echo for a while. We're not kicking him off the show. No, and I'll tell you why. Because on the offensive line, especially in this, you want to be able to. You want your top five.
Yeah,
I mentioned Nolan Hay. Nolan Hay giving Carter Miller, maybe people are surprised about run for his money at center. Okay, he is the top 2 center. But if Nolan Hay's your best left guard, if he's better than Hank Purvis or one of your top 5 guys overall, and he can play another spot, some guys can't.
Yeah,
you find it. Now you're not going to put Nolan Hay out at right tackle, unless you have to. Even though he played tackle at I think Incarnate Word, because as he said in an interview, he has very short arms. and that can get you, a dinosaur, like T-Rex arms. So he's more of an inside guy, and he admits that.
Yeah.
With Darius Gray, if he is your, one of your top 5, like I said, long term, he's an interior guy.
Mm-hmm.
But for year one, because he's athletic, because he's got long arms, because he can handle it, and you're not asking him to go in and, help double team a 340-pound nose tackle, you maybe put him at right, and it's just one of those things. It offensive line is like always five with one, 5 as one. So you got to find the right combo, and then you got to get it to gel. It's hard. It's hard to do, but they've been doing a good job. South Carolina's defensive line obviously is pretty salty, and I think you would be worried about Gabe Brownlow Dindy and Tomiwa Dorajaye and Kelby Collins and Jordan Thomas and Noah Clark and all those guys, Troy Pikes. If this line, Carolina, they just blocked them all day, you'd probably be a little worried. So it's not like the disruptive defensive linemen haven't gotten the best, but it's been a nice battle. And we've seen times where, there is still a week of the game. You'll talk to a contact and not, going back way to the Spurrier era. God, I hope the line holds up. I mean, how many times have we heard that? Like, you'll talk about a game, an opening game, and then it's always if the line holds up, right? So
yeah. You're hoping to put that to bed in week 1.
Hope so. Yeah, I'm hoping so. But yeah, Matt, I think that somebody on the Insiders Forum today mentioned some of the metrics you were talking about with these guys at previous stops, PFF grades and things like that. And when you look at kind of the totality of what the portal additions did previously, if Carolina as a whole can get there, that's a massive improvement metrics wise, right away.
Well, it's a combination of 2 things, JC. It's the numbers that these guys put up from a metric standpoint, at their prior stops, but it's also Kendall Briles' offense, which is it's kind of designed to keep the quarterback out of pressure. It's quick outs. So we'll see what happens. I'm cautiously optimistic about the offensive line this year, and normally I got to see it to believe it. But I think as soon as possible, like, talking about Darius Gray, and if he's the best option, you want him out there, but you don't want to put a true freshman in a bad situation, have to remove him from the starting lineup and then go back to him later. It's just sometimes that doesn't work out the best way. So, I mean, you think you probably want to lean on these guys that have years of experience over grade just to start out. But when he's ready, man, I think you'll see him play a lot.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't know that he'll start. I think Chris Lowe reported the other day it's going to be it's hard to keep him off the field, and I think it will be in time if they don't just go ahead and start him. And maybe they will. Who knows? Maybe they will. Maybe he'll be starting by Towson. Maybe he won't start at all. Who knows? But I think he's probably another few weeks of practice. I think he'll be ready. I think he's not ready already, so who knows? Paul McJunkin, Phil, says Malden's 6 miles from his house.
Yeah, come on out, Paul.
Come on out, Paul. Deputy Smitty's been driving to West Virginia. Been here the whole time. That's awesome. Country roads take me home. Eric's back as another rejoined club chief here. So JC and crew always makes a long drive go by faster. And then he mentions Greenville County has too many schools, programs spreading out the talent. I also think one thing that hurts Greenville County as far as high school football goes is the magnet program.
Yeah.
Like Greenville does really, and it's one big school district. You don't have neighborhood schools. Like, in Spartanburg County, I mean, those boys that live in Woodruff, they're a little different than the ones that live in Chesney as far as football historically forever.
Mm-hmm.
The kids from Lyman, Duncan, Welford, a little bit different than ones from Inman, although there are ballers in Inman, in Greenville, you could be from Fountain Inn and you go to Wade Hampton because you're good at ceramics.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it is. It's like you have a magnet program as well as a governor school, as well as a thriving fine arts program that has been nurtured for decades in this county and it smears everybody around, right? So it's weird.
It's crazy. And the Greenville County schools have money and all that, but it's also one of those things too where, and I don't know if that's what's going on there now, but like when I was in middle school, all the Spartanburg County middle schools played football and basketball. Mm. We went out in DR Hill. We competed against Fair Forest and East Gaffney and West Gaffney. And then they renamed them to Ewing and Grenard. We played, and then in the other conference, there was Cowpens Middle School, which was the Broome Middle School. Mabry fed into Chapman. We play, middle school sports was a thing. Then they didn't have it in Greenville County.
No, and I still don't think they have a thriving middle school football program, if they have any, because it's like it's still like 8th graders on the high school C team. That's the situation still. Yeah.
Well, and I think, and if you also notice though, in Spartan, and this is one of the differences too. So in Spartanburg, you'll have so they had DR Hill at the Burns School District. They built a school called Florence Chapel. I don't know if they have a third one now or not. And all those schools fed into Burns, right? So you had and so like when Bobby Bentley got to Burns, one of the things he did was he streamed, they took everything. They're like, okay, we're going to have one playbook and we're going to condense it and everybody's going to run the same thing. So then by the time you get up there, it's fine. You also have a situation where all these players, at least a third of them have played together. Mm-hmm. In Greenville, you may live miles from the person that, for one group of kids, and you go to a middle school with them and then, bye. And this is just not even with the magnet program. Then you go to a totally different high school.
Yeah, you've got middle schools feeding high schools, like 4 different high schools without consideration of magnets right now. It's like it's nuts.
I think all that does, and people can run their school district however they want, but I think that does affect sports in some way.
I mean, we used to hate going to play Sumter because they were in our region, and South Lawrence had like 1,500 kids, and Sumter had 2,200. Like it just wasn't a fair fight.
Mm-mm.
Right. Yeah.
I know Sumter took South Lawrence's coach too.
That's right. Yeah.
It's still not a fair fight. Took him. I don't mean to say that. Bruin Nation is going to kill me now. I forgot who I was taking off there. No. But anyway, Blake says, JC, can you explain the need for arm length? A lot of people don't know the importance of being able to extend a DN and have leverage. it's easy to get reached and tossed. Okay, yeah. Well, it's just, and I'm not, others could probably explain it better than me. But yeah, you're right. It's just like keep away. You want the distance. If you don't have long arms, the defensive lineman can get up in your body and push you out and get pinned. But long armed guys, they also can reach better and they have a chance to knock you off. I mean, it's important. I probably am not the person to explain that as well. But
well, it can help you hold a little bit too if you get beat. So sometimes you just take the 15-yard penalty as opposed to a sack.
Yeah, you can reach and grab some jerseys. So Erica was at Wade Hampton, and they had a C team for 9th grade. They went to Spartanburg and Burns. Their team had 50 more players than they did. Yeah.
That was like crazy. What Dorman has, 4,000 students?
I think so.
It's like the biggest schools in the state are gigantic now. Right. Good. When I was at Wade Hampton, we were a 3A school. I think it was 1,300 kids total. And now I think it's doubled in population.
Burns was only 1,200 when I was there. And it's maybe over 2 now. Dorman has always been a massive school.
Yeah.
It's always
Burns is 20. It's about 2,400. I got it up right now because I'm just curious.
All right, tell us the top. Yeah, and then we'll go to break.
All right,
so we gotta get a break.
So your top 5. We're not going to use South Carolina Connections Academy because that's K through 12. But Dorman is number 1, 3,920. Somerville number 2, 3,361. Carolina Forest, 3,176. Boiling Springs High School, 2,772, and then Clover High School, 2,713. That's your top 5.
How many students does Spartanburg High School have now?
Oh gosh, let's see. Spartanburg, 2,164, number 14 in the state.
So it's still pretty large school. Burns and Spartan High were kind of the same. All right, sorry, Dorman and Spartan High were kind of the same size.
I mean, Lexington is 2,500. They're top 10.
So Burns is actually larger than Spartanburg now.
Yeah,
but not as large as Dorman.
I can see that.
Now.
Yeah,
Dorman University. Nope.
Dorman University.
That Carolina Forest area of Horry County, the in between Myrtle Beach and Conway part. That's. I mean, that was mosquitoes and maybe some alligators and Waccamaw pottery in coastal Carolina when I was coming up. Everybody, that's Carolina Forest. That's a big school.
That is big, especially for here too. Yeah,
they're pretty good at football too. They're one of those schools I think will break through. Anyway, y'all can go back and listen to 4 Quarter Friday for all the high school football stuff.
That's right. Yeah,
it's on my mind today. I'll be back in the chat box to answer some more questions. Big scrimmage tomorrow, folks. Obviously, a separation Saturday for everybody. As far as the depth chart and stuff goes, and we want to thank Gamecock Traditions, and we want to thank all of our local businesses that advertise with us. We're very proud to be a local business ourselves, not owned by any corporation. Everything we do, from this to the Big Spur, Gamecock Central is a local business, and we are proud to partner with local businesses in South Carolina, and the partner their ad dollars does support our business, and we want to just thank all of them for advertising with us, because that's never going to change. We'll always support and promote local business and partner with the good people right in the state of South Carolina, because that's fundamentally what we are. This is not a corporate situation, and we're just so honored to have these partners, these local businesses that are just like us, not owned by corporations, gigantic global corporations that, could pull the plug on us at any minute. That's not going to happen. And that's one of the ways we keep going, is by partnering with these great people out there that we certainly appreciate. And I know we all appreciate too that our lives aren't controlled by corporations, and that we're not beholden to them with every decision we make in our lives. And part of the reason we're able to do that is because of these great local businesses that we partner with. We'll be back after this.
Dry Space Crawl Space Solutions are your local home protection experts. Crawl space encapsulation, sump pump and drain installs, humidity control, duct cleaning, basement waterproofing, concrete leveling, and French drains. We do it all. Visit dryspacecs.com. dryspacecs.com. Go Gamecocks.
Is this your golf game? It doesn't have to be. Visit McKellarEnterprises.org and improve your game today.
Test ride at Electric Bikes of Charleston today. Road trip ready. Ride comfortably. Forget road fatigue. The Velotric Fold 1 Plus features our exclusive Comfort Max frame design for an effortless, upright riding posture and a low step through. With an adjustable seat and stem, you'll be feeling great and ready for the next campsite adventure. Your back will thank you. Visit Electric Bikes of Charleston. ElectricBikesCharleston.com.
You know, in Gamecock Country, home truly means more. And whether you're buying or selling a home, Renee Fryer brings local market expertise and personal care to every move because it means more. Like here for Renee Fryer with Home Advantage Realty. No matter where you are in the state of South Carolina, she will make sure you have the advantage on your side. That's Home Advantage Realty, and that's Renee Fryer, always an easy phone call away. 803-271-4777. Make sure you have the home field advantage with Renee Fryer of Home Advantage Realty.
Troy Branham of Golden Gate Mortgage can help you save big today anywhere in South Carolina. Over 27 years experience. Visit ggmortgage.com. Troy Branham of Golden Gate Mortgage says go Gamecocks.
Jeffrey's got space and a touchdown. Can you believe it? Touchdown! He caught it on draft and scores.
Welcome back, everybody, inside the Gamecocks. The show rolls on. Final segment of the show for the week here, and then we're going to have plenty of work to do. Try to cram it in before I have to head on down to Molded at 7:30.
Outstanding.
I know.
A lot of work, man.
Yeah, I'm meeting my wife down there, which is good. She's not coming home, so we're not going to.
I'm never coming home.
Back and forth and back and forth.
What's your dinner plans? Are you going to eat a hot dog at the stadium, or are you going to stop on the way in?
So I'm kind of torn, right? Like, I have not been to a game at Malden, so I'm not entirely sure how set up the concessions are.
Yeah.
So, and it's going to be a long time. Like, my 10-year-old is not going to stand for not eating until we get to the stadium. So
yeah, she's got
both. Yeah, it'll probably be. We'll probably hit a drive-through on the way down and then grab a hot dog while we're there, because I'm a big having a hot dog guy. That's stuff like that. Mm-hmm.
Bruin is destroying Carolina Force. Carolina Force may have 3,000 kids, but soon all the athletes will be Atlantic Collegiate, Myrtle Beach, maybe feeling the effects. TD's like, shut up, Bruin. Bruin's like, TD, it's coming. Craig points out Eric Kimry School, the Baylor School, is $35,000 for a day student per year, $75,000 if you stay on campus. And every one of those football players, I think, gets some sort of help to go. Yeah, wow. Tennessee, you have a lot of schools like that. I mean, you have them in Chicago too, like the Catholic schools and stuff. Cocky Drews is happy to support ITG. Yeah, happy. Yeah, and we appreciate that. Like I said, it's and we support. I mean, I think our advertisers are logical, great partners and stuff. Bruin says he only gives Myrtle Beach hell because of that quack Ian Jawarin. Who is that? Now he's all about Atlantic Collegiate because his kid goes there. Do we know who is Ian Gorian?
Ian Gorian? I don't know. I know Bruin is like, the
he's into high school sports, which I don't understand why he doesn't post on the 4 Quarter Friday message board.
Which is interesting. And he is like the president of the I Hate Charter School fan club. Which I'm also not the biggest fan of charter schools.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I like charter schools. I think the concept's good. The recruiting and the athletes, and I'm not, I don't know about messing with that. But
yeah,
I don't want to get into the charter school. I mean, the charter school debate's something I can kind of see both sides of. I think that they're useful in certain places not so much. X-Men says somebody told him ITG was the Walmart of podcast networks. Well, you can get a lot of good stuff at Walmart, right?
Yeah, that is true.
So I'm sure they were giving us a compliment there. Walmart. Oh gosh. Blah, 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 blah. Is Mazio's high school magnet school, Greenville High? They all are magnets, right? Every high school in Greenville has certain things they specialize.
Yeah, they really leaned into school choice up here. Yeah, you can go to whatever, wherever, whatever.
Yeah. Bruins and JC's gotten him fired up about Drew Marlowe.
That's right.
Now, in all seriousness, Marlowe will forever be a South Florence Bruin, but we all knew he's going home when it opened. Excited for Braswell. Yeah, that's, look, everybody wants to go, likes going home. Sometimes it doesn't always work out, but everybody likes to go home. What about Blake Franks from Greenville too? Blake's still kind of developing backup offensive lineman this year. Russell says, my wife left me this morning. Oh my God. Bruin goes, Russell permanently or for the weekend? Russell's like, she'll be back though. She always comes back just for the day. Bruin's like,
Yo, I saw it and I was like, don't know what to do for you, Russell.
Sorry to hear that, buddy.
Good or bad?
That's right.
How you feeling?
Matt says we're at least target. Yeah. And Matt X-Man says just because you said it wasn't corporate. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing. But that's true. I mean, I don't know that there are very few media outlets left around here that are not. I mean, it kind of depends on how you define media outlets.
Well, yeah.
There's a lot of local folks that do a good job that are not owned 100% owned by corporations.
But even your local radio station now is not.
All those are owned by
radio station, right?
Garbage companies.
Yeah, terrible media companies.
And of course, the 24/7 sports site's 100% owned, operated, and controlled by Paramount Skydance. All aspects of it are. The state newspaper's owned by Gannett now, or is it still? It was Knight Ridder and maybe McClatchy.
Gannett or
but newspapers have been owned by big, and that's kind of the downfall from them. I'm trying to think if there's any like local.
Channel 4 now is CBS and NBC around here, which is wild. I'm like, how does that work?
Didn't they merge? Did they merge with Channel 7?
Yeah, 7 is now the CW, I think. Yeah. 7 is now the CW. So it's just WSBA. There's no I on there anymore. I'm like, man, how does that work though?
I don't know, man. Russell says, can a kid that attends private school in South Carolina try out for public school sports team if the private school doesn't offer a specific sport? I don't know, Russell.
I don't know the answer to that one.
I know homeschool kids can. See, I would imagine they'd be able to because, like, you're still paying, even if you're paying tuition at a private school, you're still paying property taxes for the public school. So
they let them play if they do have, like, because Southside Christian plays, like tonight, Christ Church is going to play at Malden. So it was like they still slot them in based on size and all of that.
Yeah.
To play. But if they don't have programs, I'm not sure how that works. They probably do have to let them, like you said, like homeschool kids, because it's part of the tax program.
Lance says, Killers, it's been a long off season. It's time to spot the damn ball and get it locked in.
Yeah, man.
This has been a fast off season, but it's also been a long off season, just with the change in offensive coordinator and so much stuff to diagnose, understand, figure out. And I'm more excited for this football season than I have been for quite a while, to be honest.
I am too, and I think part of it too is no spring game.
Right.
So it's not like you got to see at least the bare bones of what this thing looks like. And so it's like even if Carolina runs away with it, I'm so interested to watch, the garbage time, just to kind of see what it looks like. So somebody said something about Landon Duckworth, TD. I think Landon's going to be a really good player. The thing I like about him is, highly recruited guy, excited guy, enthusiastic guy, great sense of humor, right? What they say, Landon Duckworth's got a personality, highly competitive, doesn't seem to fall for BS and hype. Think about this. Here comes the shiny new Lane Kiffin toy at LSU. They tried to flip him. Nope, I'm going to South Carolina. Doesn't matter that this is the fourth offensive coordinator that's recruited me.
Third time I've committed to South Carolina too.
Yeah, Auburn tries to get him to come in. Nah, I'm not going to do it. And then he gets here, and clearly Cutter Woods is ahead of him because Cutter's got more experience, and it's Cutter's time to be the backup. All Landon Duckworth does is work every day to get better. I wouldn't be surprised with the redshirt rules to see Duck get on the field if there's a way to kind of use him. Especially in garbage time, it's in your best interest to play him at quarterback, get him reps.
Yeah.
Now it's a battle between he and Lucian Anderson for third team right now. So
something tells me it's like you're going to end up seeing like 2 Woods drives, 1 Anderson, and 1 Duckworth drive, and then kind of just go from there. If garbage time happens,
And it should. It should the first 2 weeks.
Well, yeah, there should be. We should actually have some film on the 3 quarterbacks under Lenora Sellers. Yeah,
hopefully. Luke asked, Blake Franks High School is a magnet school in Greenville also. Yeah, Blake Franks and Mazio Bennett went to the same high school.
Yeah, Greenville
High School. And what it is, he said, who do those magnet schools play? No, I'll explain this. It's the regular high schools. Like in Greenville, you got Southside, you've got Berea, you got TR, Hillcrest. There's a new school, Fountain Inn High School, Eastside, Riverside. Greer is a 90% Greenville County school. But what they do is in the county, like if you're good at something or you want to go concentrate in fine arts, right? Well, Wade Hampton is the fine arts magnet. And so no matter where you live in the county, you can still go there, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what magnet school. So you're not, whereas in Spartanburg County is divided up into 7 school districts. So you have to go within your district.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah. And Greenville is just one all-encompassing district. It gives them a ton of money because, of course, you get paid at the state and the federal level by your attendance total in the district. So, but the bad part is you spread it all around, and then of course there's school closures for weather and things like that. So if it's snowing in Travelers Rest, then sometimes Fountain Inn has to be out, even though it might just be raining in Fountain Inn.
Krager watched Eric Kimmery's guy, David Gabriel George's. That's how you say it.
Yeah.
He said they'll start for Tennessee next year. I wouldn't be surprised. I still think it's too much money to pay him. Running back, unless he's Adrian Peterson or Marcus Lattimore impact wise. He will be. Probably not. Doc says, Matt, talking season is for fans year after year. So many preseason predictions for this team or that turn out to be accurate, but we will argue until they're red in the face.
That's right.
Yeah. It's like a great debate, college football now. And now you've got people debating that have no business being in the debate. And they are, but it's very interesting. So I don't know. But Matt, what are you looking to see from the scrimmage this weekend? I know you talked about it a little bit on late night, but what are some positions that kind of you think about and you're like, well, I don't have even a guess, or, you're looking for more concrete answers at?
Oh man, defensive end for sure. I want to see who takes who takes the second starting spot. I think Caleb Herring probably has one of them, but with Dylan Stewart likely not. I mean, we know he's not going to play week 1, so I want to see who the next man up is there. I'm still watching that Kilgore and Scott battle. I want to see what happens there. I want to see if Xavier Currents is still pushing Busey and if he can overtake him. I mean, that's on the defensive side of the ball. Offense, I just want to figure out who the key 5 wide receivers are going to be. I want someone to come up and just say, this is my spot. I'd love to hear, a little bit more about Nick Harver moving all around the field. You're hearing some of that, and that's something we've been screaming for from the rooftops for a while. And then offensive line, I just go back to what I said, I talked about with Strick. I really feel like they need to find the 3 guys or the 2 guys and say, this is your position, you're going to be here. And then, let the cards fall where they may until you get, peak back. But there's still a lot going on. I mean, there's so many position battles that are up there, and, it's kind of weird because, they're playing Kent State and Towson. They should be able to win with their 3rd string, both of these games. Mm-hmm. So it's still like that calm before the storm. Kentucky is going to be, or Mississippi State's going to be the big game. So it's still kind of, wait and see mode for me. I don't think anything's decided going into week 1.
Luke asked, tight end Brady Hunt's the starter, but who else does Carolina have? Hadn't heard much about the tight end.
Mike.
The number 2 is Mike Tyler, and he's most likely, he'd probably have to screw it up if he didn't, if he wasn't number 2. And there's nothing against the other guys at all. And then you got some guys that specialize. Maurice Brown can do certain things. Max Drag can do certain things. And then you got the freshman, Caden Ramsey. We were just talking the other day about him playing special teams, his first year. Because, these new rules, you just get to rock and roll. By the way, what JB was talking about earlier, it's kind of interesting because that class action lawsuit in Colorado, that the 2022's fight, I think this is ridiculous.
It's nuts.
I think this is, at some point, coaches are responsible for this. Like college coaches and personnel people, they're responsible for this. At some point, okay, yeah. I saw like a couple of guys going back to Mississippi State. Okay, well, they weren't that good last year individually. Could they give you depth? Probably. Would some of them start? Maybe. I don't know how you did in the portal, but you're trying to sneak these guys back from the draft or a free agency camp. And it's like, okay, so you're going to sully the game, ruin the game just to get depth at a position.
It's crazy,
and so I don't blame the NCAA. I don't blame the players. I think at some point the coaches have to say, listen, we have all made out like bandits here, right?
Yeah.
We have all made out like bandits. Jimmy Sexton has our grandkids set up for life.
That's right.
Maybe we should just calm down a little bit and all agree to not disrespect the game like that of college football, because that's ridiculous. I expect that out of lawyers and these freaks out there that just won't, they smell money and they just go for it. Maybe the coaches are smelling money too. Maybe man, if I could just get that, I got 7 more million.
That's right.
Just hold on 7 more, million more years. Then my great grandkids won't have to work. You guys have made out like bandits. You guys are set for life. And how many get fired on a yearly basis?
Yeah, a lot of
because they're not good at their job.
They're just not good. Right.
It's a hell of a deal.
It's not bad at all, man.
And it's all guaranteed. All these buyouts,
Yeah, they get the buyouts. Yeah.
Right, we're going to pay. How stupid is that? We're going to pay you an ungodly amount of money to coach a game.
That's right. Whether you're good or bad.
And then whether or not you win, we're going to pay you to win games. We're going to give you every possible resource to win. And if you don't, you're still getting your money.
That's right.
Where do I sign up?
Yeah, please.
Well, it's kind of like I put this on the board the other day, and you talk about getting fired and getting all that money. How many college coaches could go 0-12 and keep their job in college football right now? I mean, someone said Signetti. He could probably go 0-12 this year and keep his job. Could Kirby keep his job at 0-12?
Oh no, I don't. I doubt 0-12. Like there's the
That's a
argument
lot.
for there is a fundamental something wrong in this place. Like, but there again, it's like it happened at Florida State. So
Well, Florida State didn't get rid of Norvell, and then he backed that stellar season up with another losing season.
but he's too expensive to get rid of probably until next year.
Yeah, Matt has a good point here. Matt Sellers says, why is losing or not meeting expectations able to be fired for calls or something? I mean, there should be a clause in there like, you're not good. Like, you're not going to get the rest of the money.
I think what they need to standardize it. Like, okay, so all right, you can be fair,
right,
with this stuff. Because it's all subject. You need to get like very specific. Okay, well, in your contract, you get the full amount of your contract paid off. It's not 4 calls. If you stay above or at the average, the baseline standard for wins.
That's right. Yeah, the minimum standard.
In other words, like at South Carolina, it'd be about 6.5 wins.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're gonna keep you as long as you meet those. But if you fall below it, you're in the danger zone, and we can fire you for a $1 million buyout.
Mm-hmm.
And $1 million is plenty to get you through
moving expenses.
You get the next job.
Okay. That's right. That's plenty enough.
I'd even go for 2. Okay. But this $70 million, like the Kalen DeBoer, everybody that talks about firing Kalen DeBoer, their fans may want to for this year. And their fans may really want to. Feinbaum will be lit. But their athletic director backed them into such a corner. I mean, Alabama spends about like South Carolina on NIL. Same financial level. You wouldn't think it, but it's true. And their AD, for whatever reason, when Michigan sniffed around, was like, all right, we're going to give you $70 million with buyout, and then there's no mitigation clause, which means he could get fired, and if Lincoln Riley doesn't do well at Southern Cal, they will immediately hire Kalen DeBoer as their head coach for $8-9 million a year. Get all the money. Kalen DeBoer could be like up there with Elon Musk if he invests the right way.
If you do it right.
I mean, in 100 years, it'll be like the DeBoer Institute of whatever, I mean, because he's just going to be this his family will be an army of philanthropists because he coached football and got fired.
That's right.
I mean, at the end of the day, like I might rather have Southern Cal and just say, fire me.
I would say this: take your ass to Michigan.
Right.
Bye. We're Alabama.
Right.
We're Alabama. There'll be plenty of people that would want to take this job.
Yeah. We're going to draw every big name there is in this business because of who we are. See ya.
Doc says it's the schools putting the wrong people in charge of these negotiations and they keeping up with the Joneses by thinking with alumni with too much money. Yeah, there's all in a college situation too. This is why it's so bad. Like the free market hitting this stuff is poison.
Yeah, because
you don't really have colleges are all about like smooths and fundraisers. They're fundraisers, right? Mm-hmm. And so now we could go on all day. So anyway, Matt, tell everybody about late night this Sunday. What are you guys going to talk about?
So it's finally time for us to go game by game on the South Carolina schedule and give our final predictions for win-loss record for the Gamecocks. So we waited. We wanted to get all the information we possibly could. So Rob and I will be excited to do that tomorrow night and make sure you join us. We'd love to have some conversation there, and we'll see if Rob and I agree on what the Gamecocks' final record will be.
We'll see. That'll be fun. All right. Mad Dog will be at Malden, home of the Mavericks tonight, texting me updates about this Christchurch 2028 running back. Yeah. Check out the fourquarterfriday.com live blog tonight. Also, fourquarterfriday.com for all your high school sports needs. Follow it at fourquartersc on X. We'll have lots of updates there. as it's kind of the big night tonight. Last night was kind of the appetizer.
That's right.
We're going full Monty tonight, so it will be good. Luke said, this is funny. Pete Golding said on Marty and McGee, his dream growing up was to be a head coach and get fired. He'll be well on his way if they don't win.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Ole Miss will be like Florida, but with nothing in the trophy case. Like they'll just start firing. Well, no, you didn't do it like Lane did it.
Nope. Well, you're not Lane Kiffin. Well, nobody's Lane Kiffin.
And once again, thanks to all of our sponsors. We really appreciate all the local businesses that support us, and we appreciate all the Gamecock fans out there for supporting these guys and us. It's one of those things where it's just a very, very special thing, I think, right here on ITG. Mm-hmm. For Matt Anderson, the Late Night Gamecock, for the Mad Dog Phil Mullinax, it's been JC Sherbert today on the show. And we'll talk to you on Monday. Holla at you.